Chapter 51. The clouds and mist condensed into the shape of a child without any facial features. The moment it took shape, it appeared behind An Xian. An Xian was not afraid, but felt guilty for causing trouble for his brother. An Xian's smile disappeared and he rushed towards An Xian without saying a word. Of course An Xian would not watch him rescue An Xian. The diluted cloud condenses quickly. The rolling clouds and overlapping waves hinder our peaceful progress. Unfortunately, it didn't have much effect. Its abilities are bizarre and varied, but its defense and attack power are inferior to those of its peers. He drove the blue hand leisurely and bombarded all the way, piercing through the clouds, which then dissipated and merged into the main body of the dark clouds. Stop! A voice of unknown gender resounded through the sky. It was made by the dark clouds imitating the human vocal organs. If you go any further, I will devour her soul. The mist child behind An Xian released some mist and covered her body. He stopped leisurely, with the star power enveloping his body and hanging in the air. After the little pink-haired boy was approached, he spoke for the first time. Let her go, and I'll let you go. The flat voice is a declaration, not a compromise. The dark cloud smiled. Let me go? The situation has reversed. The initiative is in my hands. 3. First, return the soul that ate me. 2. Human, I will give you a chance to live, and then let me swallow half of your soul, and I will forgive you for what happened. 1. An Xian suddenly laughed. I gave you a chance. He took off his sunglasses and threw them away, raised his head slightly, and opened his mouth and eyes. A faint blue hue appeared in the empty eye sockets. The light blue gradually became thicker, not only in the eye sockets, but also in all the orifices. Light blue like smoke came out. An Xian saw this and felt something was wrong. Human! Stop what you are doing! An Xian ignored it. The light blue color gathered above his head, faintly revealing his appearance. I'm warning you again. If you don't stop, I'm going to attack that girl. The dark clouds seemed a little impatient, and they surged towards An Xian, trying to interrupt him. In an instant, a little man with light blue light appeared above An Xian's head. This is his soul, and with a level strength, the soul is separated from the body. The iron rule that only a star warrior who surpasses a level can reveal his soul has been broken. The body is life, the soul is nature, and both life and nature should be cultivated. Essentially, the Shuangchuan hand cultivates both the body and the soul. The red and blue hands are just the way of application. An Xian used the power of blue hand to cover the soul and completed the out-of-body experience. He opened his eyes and looked towards the clouds, and found that he still couldn't see. MD, sooner or later I will see the world with my own eyes. He couldn't help but curse. He once tried to repair his eye pupil with his red hand. The result was self-evident. There was a strange energy that prevented anything other than his own pupils from appearing in his eye sockets. He asked the system, and the answer given by the system was that there was no match. Asked again, still no match. In the end, the idea of creating my own pupils came to an end with the laughter and joy of comforting the system mother. The dark cloud looked at the peaceful soul and became furious. Okay. Since you want her to die, I will. It's too late. The word leisure comes out lightly. The soul appeared beside An Xian, and its speed was much faster than that of the body. The soul grabbed the little man in the cloud and mist, and a light blue light surged, directly refining it. Then he faced the clouds. I was planning to let you go after I had eaten your fill. Why did you insist on seeking death? The dark clouds remained silent, the cloud mass thinned, and they were planning to run away. It finally realized that it couldn't afford to offend this guy. With him around, it couldn't even think of enjoying the star power of Nanan Star. Retreat strategically first, and come back after he leaves. I don't believe he can stay here forever. Want to leave? It's a bit late. All the means of assisting the soul to leave the body were used by Blue Hand, and there was a blank space in the corner of An Xian's omniscient vision, but I was afraid that it might be discovered by someone. If I let you go like this, wouldn't it be a huge loss? The dark clouds pressing down on Nanan Star are fading. An Xian's soul rushed into the dark clouds. Suddenly, a blue light burst out, affecting the entire body of An Xian. Even the mist in the air was not spared. Under the blue light rendering, the sky looks like it has a blue filter. His soul returned to his body and he opened his mouth and burst out with violent suction force. A light blue storm rolled up in the air, sucking in all the dark clouds solidified by the blue hand. There is peace at the bottom of the storm, and he wants to swallow up the surviving dark clouds. The body was devoured bit by bit. Yan Yun felt terrified and kept begging for mercy in human language. Begging for mercy in vain, it began to make unidentified noises. An Xian knew that this BD had nothing good to say, so he increased the speed of swallowing. His stomach seemed like a bottomless pit. If you only inhale and not exhale, your stomach will swell. But he hasn't changed at all. The storm gradually weakened and the dark clouds became increasingly vague. With the last breath swallowed. A-level star beast, dark clouds, death. Hiccup. An Xian rubbed his belly with one hand and his temple with the other. I can hold on. I really can hold on. The extra mental energy capacity had already been filled up, and Chun Chun had to force herself to swallow it all. My head is swelling now. He had no interest in the large area of star beast debris on the ground outside Nanan Square. The sage mode has been entered thoroughly. Elder brother. An Yu propped himself up, ran over, and threw himself into An Xian's arms. I'm too weak. An Xian rubbed her head. The pink hair was wet with sweat and didn't feel very good. You're already great. An Yu secretly poked his head out, glanced in one direction, and leaned close to An Xian's ear. It gushed out slightly warm air and made cat-like sounds. Brother, there is a bad smell there. Oh? Did you notice it too? An Xian is really surprising. He had already discovered that there was a person there, with B-level strength and good at hiding. The star power wrapped around himself tightly, without any breath leaking out. However, being too clever may backfire. In the low-end omniscient vision, the blank space is more obvious than turning on an 800-watt light bulb in the middle of the night. Otherwise, An Xian, whose mental focus was highly concentrated on Yan Yun, would not have discovered him so quickly. Friend, you've been watching for so long, it's time to come out. An Xian put An Yu down and a friendly smile appeared on his face. A figure emerged from the shadow at the angle between the wall and the ground. He was a man wearing a mask and a white combat uniform. There is an embroidery on the left chest of the combat uniform, which is a pair of wings with a sword in the middle of the wings. He quickly arrived at Nanan Star, faced An Xian's friendly smile, and extended his hand to introduce himself. Hello, I am a member of the Federal Trial Team 7, responsible for investigation, codename Shadow 7. Puff under his astonished gaze, An Xian's hand pierced his chest from the embroidery position. Grasping a vigorously beating heart, the friendly smile on An Xian's face remained unchanged, and red light bloomed on his hands, looking extremely charming against the backdrop of blood. The light in Ying Qi eyes dissipated. The red hand moved, and his body began to melt from the heart. An Xian used his other hand to activate the blue hand, grabbed Ying Qi's soul, and destroyed it in the same way. After a moment, this person completely disappeared from the world. Only a combat uniform with a torn chest proved that he had been there. Why did you have to peek at my hands instead of something else? Now you're screwed. After An Xian finished muttering, he turned to An Yu. Are you afraid? An Yu did not answer, but picked up the combat uniform and handed it to An Xian, his eyes bright and his expression serious. This one will be burned too. Outside Nanan Star City. In a tent coated with star mineral. 9 people who were dressed the same as Yingqi were watching the instrument, where Yingqi's life signal was disappearing. Shadow 7 is dead. In Nanan Star City, no one should be able to kill Yingqi. It may be a mutant. Cage 7's ability is enough to avoid the A-level mutants. That big guy is still outside the city. Could it be a star beast? High probability. The captain of Judgment Team 7, codenamed Judgment 7. He put away his instruments and gave the order. Go to Nanan. Chapter 52. Nanan, Dongcheng District. The roars of the mutants intertwined with the wails of humans. Under the mutants' keen sense of smell, humans have nowhere to hide. A real-life battle royale is taking place here. Among them, a 100-meter-long monster was particularly conspicuous. The giant beast has white mane on its body, strong forelimbs, very short hind limbs, a wolf-like and dog-like head, and sharp fangs. It sniffed and found that its powerful strength made its sense of smell several times stronger than that of ordinary mutants, allowing it to smell the blood emanating from human flesh more easily. Roar! The giant beast's eyes, as big as water tanks, showed excitement as it jumped in one direction. Every time its huge body fell, the buildings beneath it seemed to be made of paper and collapsed without any resistance. The humans hiding in it didn't even have a chance to escape and were crushed into meat paste in an instant. The giant beast did not stop for them. It smelled more delicious blood ahead. With its size, it can reach the destination in no time at all, even if it is 10,000 meters away. It is a large supermarket. There were hundreds of people in the supermarket, holding weapons issued by the Nanan army, and watching the outside from gaps. If you stay here leisurely, you will definitely find that Wang Gang, who has not been seen since he came to Nanan, is here. Judging from the situation, he is still the leader of this group. Wang Gang looked out from the window on the third floor. Half an hour ago, he was still in a residential area. Years of experience in picking up trash in wastelands gave him a kind of danger warning that sometimes worked and sometimes didn't. Fortunately, this time the warning came true. With a nervous heart, he went out and met the Nanan army who were distributing armaments. At the same time, he learned that the mutants were besieging the city and it might not be able to be defended. Wang Gang immediately organized the people in the community, took up their weapons, and gathered them all in the looted supermarket. Only by uniting together can we survive. Hundreds of people arrived at the supermarket, the east city wall was broken, and at this moment the giant beast arrived again. Concentrate fire. At Wang Gang's command, everyone opened fire on the giant beast. They are all ordinary people who have never touched a gun in their lives, so they have no accuracy at all. But the beast was so huge that every bullet hit its body without wasting. Some people laughed at the behemoth and said it was a big fool who couldn't even hide. Wang Gang couldn't laugh. He raised his shoulder-fired rocket launcher and pulled the trigger. The Nanan army gave them a total of 5 shells for this powerful weapon, and each one was extremely precious. The rocket was ejected, and the recoil caused Wang Gang to sit on the ground. He quickly got up and looked outside. The giant beast actually raised its front legs and slapped the rocket. Boom! The intense flames instantly engulfed the giant beast. The shockwaves of the explosion shattered the windows of the supermarket and caused tinnitus in the ears of hundreds of people. After a pause, a young man next to Wang Gang shouted loudly at him. "Brother Gang! This monster is not smart." He didn't dodge bullets or shells, and was hit directly. Wang Gang pushed away the young man who was approaching him, and with a serious expression he reloaded the rocket launcher. He didn't think that one rocket could kill the behemoth. This is not necessarily true for star beasts, but for most mutant species, their strength is proportional to their size. And there is another saying that applies to everyone: the small ones are not necessarily weak, but the big ones are definitely strong. He had only seen such a 100-meter-long beast in that video of An Xian in his life. Wang Gang loaded the bullet, and the fire in front of the supermarket slowly dissipated. The white-haired giant beast revealed its figure. I saw it standing there intact. Not only was it dead, it wasn't even injured. The only damage the rocket caused to it was to blacken the white hair on its right limb. The people in the supermarket who were cheering for killing a giant beast were stunned for a moment. Wang Gang was no exception. His strongest weapon could not break the enemy's defense at all. The huge power gap made him despair. Bang! The rocket launcher on his shoulder fell off. There's no point in launching it. Wang Gang stared blankly ahead when someone hugged him from behind. It was a woman in her 20s. Her appearance is 70% to 80% beautiful, giving people the feeling of a beautiful girl next door. Her petite figure forms a sharp contrast when standing next to Wang Gang. The familiar fragrance penetrated into his nose, and Wang Gang felt dejected. "I'm sorry, but I probably can't take you out." Li Huai rubbed Wang Gang's back, and 2 dimples appeared on her face. "Without you I would have died 2 days ago. I earned a lot by living 2 more days." Amid the despair, the sound of bullets did not ring out for a long time. The giant beast put its front legs on the ground. It seemed that the food had given up resistance, so it was time for him to enjoy the food. It walks like an orangutan, and with every step forward, its powerful forelimbs can create a hole in the ground. Before arriving at the supermarket, Wang Gang on the 3rd floor could no longer see the entire beast, and only a patch of white hair remained in his eyes. A feeling of insignificance surged in his heart, and he turned around and hugged Li Huai, waiting for death to come. However, what he didn't notice was that a thick white fog was rising in the air. The density of the white fog increased rapidly, and soon it became so dense that you couldn't see your hand in front of you. Roar! Something unexpected happened, and the star power contained in the mist made the giant beast feel a little uneasy. Its 5 senses were blocked, and it instinctively retreated to an open area and took a defensive stance. A figure slowly emerged from the white fog. It was Song Yan Wen. Li Gong should be called. Song Yanwen muttered to himself. He hated fighting against white-haired monsters and other mutants with maxed-out defense. The most effective way for the barbarian Li Gong to fight the giant beast head-on is to hit the target from a distance and directly damage the giant beast's internal organs. He sighed, dispelling the white mist in the supermarket. Those who were so frightened that they could not speak, saw his figure and their hope was rekindled. Star-Lord! It's the Star-Lord who has come to save us. Lao Pai, there is help. Don't die, don't die. Song Yanwen asked. Who is the leader among you? Wang Gang, who had just come down from the third floor, happened to hear these words, and everyone's eyes turned to him. They are convinced of Wang Gang. The day before yesterday, more than a dozen people came to the community and committed murder and robbery at will. It was Wang Gang who used the gun he brought from Bayan and shot the group of people to death, allowing them to survive. Song Yanwen looked at Wang Gang. You are not from Nan'an. The bandit spirit in Wang Gang is not something that an ordinary person living in Star City should have. At this time, the people of Nan'an ran out desperately. The only ones who come in instead of going out are the garbage man and An Xian, whose purpose is unknown. There is no one else. Wang Gang did not deny it. Star-Lord's wisdom eyes. It doesn't matter whether it is or not, take them with you immediately and go. Song Yanwen paused, not knowing where to let them go. The situation in Dongcheng district is different from that in other places. The East City wall collapsed, and the East City district was full of mutants. It was a pipe dream to want to successfully escape to the city wall guarded by the Nan'an army. He had to stay and deal with this deformed mutant, and had no time to send another clone to escort them. The white mist fluctuated violently. The giant beast had not moved for a long time and was smashing violently. It will fall apart in 5 more minutes at most. Song Yanwen pondered. At this time, he saw the astonishing scene above Nan'an Star. Someone is devouring a Class A star beast. In Nan'an, people with such strength. Song Yan's eyes lit up. Go to Nan'an Star. If you can get his protection, you will definitely survive. Chapter 53. The commander of the Nan'an army, Li Gong. After rescuing thousands of people from Happy World, Li Gong escorted them to the city wall where the Nan'an army was stationed, but was suddenly stopped by 3 people. When Li Gong saw their white combat uniforms and the wings and swords on their chests, his heart skipped a beat. The Judgment Army. He uttered these 3 words slowly, his expression gradually becoming solemn. The moment he decided to follow Song Yanwen, he anticipated that he would be besieged by the Federation. But I didn't expect this day to come so soon. The ones who carried out the mission were the Judgment Army, which really showed their high regard for Nan'an. The name of this top-notch army is well known to Li Gong, a soldier himself. The Judgment Army, in the name of judgment, judges all guilty people. 100 men form an army, which consists of 10 teams, with 10 men in each team. A pure Star Warrior army, the entry threshold is B level. The captain's ability must be A level. It and the Arbitration Army are directly under the jurisdiction of the Federal Parliament. It is the sword of Damocles that the House of Representatives hangs over the heads of everyone in the Federation. Judgment Team 7, Flame Team 7, Defense Team 7, and Strength Team 7. Following the order of the Federation, we are here to arrest the former Nan'an Star Lord Song Yanwen, the former Nan'an Army Lord Li Gong, and the former Nan'an Star Martial Arts Division Chief Yang Gai. Yan Qi put away the photo and confirmed his identity. Li Gong, do you want to surrender or be beaten and taken away? Li Gong cursed inwardly, damn Federation. Nan'an fell, and He Chao was sent to cause trouble. Nan'an declared independence, and the Judiciary Army was sent to suppress it. What the FK? When the Judiciary Army goes on a mission, it usually consists of a team of 10 people. It means the weakest. There is also 1A grade and 9B grades. He knew that resistance was futile. The 3 people in front of me are here to capture me, and the rest should be going to capture the Star Lord and the old goat. Li Gong looked behind him and saw thousands of pairs of eyes filled with helplessness and panic, including quite a few children. They must be allowed to live safely. To this end, he suppressed his anger, lowered his posture, and spoke in a pleading tone. 3 of you, they are innocent. I can go with you. Please save them. Save them. Yan Qi grinned fiercely, with fire burning on his hands. He bent his knees slightly and leapt above the 1,000 people. Then he pressed his hands down, and the raging fire used the star power as fuel, turning into a sea of fire in an instant. A raging sea of fire descended, and as the flames spewed out, they emitted terrifying heat. The grass on the ground was yellow and dry, and everyone was sticking out their tongues, tearing their clothes, and sweating profusely. The moisture in their bodies evaporated quickly, and some people began to scream in pain, as if they were on fire. The sea of fire continued to sink, and after a few seconds, hundreds of people could not hold on and became dehydrated mummies. "Stop!" Li Gong shouted loudly, and punched out with his right fist full of power. The fist shadow condensed from star power attempted to shatter the sea of fire. At this time, Yu Qi moved. He used the least amount of star power to condense barriers. Dozens of barriers appeared one after another, constantly consuming the power of the fist shadow and destroying it before shattering the sea of fire. "Why are you killing them? You are crazy!" Li Gong rushed forward, his strong body not slow at all. Li Qi, who had been motionless, stood in front of him. Li Gong threw a punch, and he fought back in the same way, not losing the upper hand. The federal order has a second half. Nanan will kill all the three main culprits and the rest of them, including your Nanan army. The gap was blocked and the sea of fire fell completely. The world was silent in an instant. Except for the crackling of the flames, all other sounds disappeared. Li Gong's mind went blank and his eyes turned red in an instant. Federation. Laozi Fku. The one who betrayed was him, Li Gong, the Star Lord, Yang Gai and the Nanan army. But these people are so innocent. I originally thought that if I surrendered and let Judgment Team 7 arrest me, they would let the Nanan army go and rescue the remaining people in Nanan. In the end it was all wishful thinking. They want to kill everyone. Li Gong swung his fists at Li Qi, and every punch produced a sonic boom. The code name of the Judgment Team 7 has always been the simplest, consisting of their own strengths or characteristics, plus the number 7 from the 7 teams. Li Qi, as the name suggests, is famous for his strength. After receiving the mission and gaining a preliminary understanding of the mission objective, Li Qi took the initiative to apply to arrest Li Gong. Li Qi and Li Gong fought fist to fist, without any techniques, purely to the ultimate level. Boom! Boom! There were loud noises one after another. The aftermath of the clash between B-class power-type star warriors collapsed many houses. Another counterattack. Li Qi laughed heartily. Great! This is how a man fights. Li Gong, right? I like you. And Yang Qi just happened to be dead. Do you want me to help you apply to join Judgment Team 7 to atone for your sins? Atoning for sins? Laozi is guilty of something. The mummies attacked Li Gong's nerves. His anger turned into strength and he blasted towards Li Qi fiercely. Kill him, kill him. After Yan Qi dealt with more than 1,000 people, he and Yu Qi sat side by side on a high building to watch the show. What a barbarian! Yu Qi looked at him coldly. Yan Qi stopped talking. Forget about this stuff and it's not much better. Relying on his high defense, he often fights against Li Qi when they are at the base. I think you're right. It's so inelegant, you idiot. Have you changed your personality? I told you that there is no future for you to follow him. It's better for you to follow me. I will be the one doing the damage and you can protect me closely. Isn't it better? As Yan Qi spoke, he felt something was wrong. This voice doesn't seem to be Yu Qi. And while he was chattering on, Yu Qi had already taken a defensive stance. Who? Flames quickly ignited on Yan Qi's body and he looked back. Behind me, a young man with a cane and broken sunglasses appeared. Beside him, there is a pink-haired little loli with a delicate and pretty appearance. If he takes off his mask and is not on a mission, she will definitely tease him. Yan Qi moved behind Yu Qi and became more alert. Yu Qi was not good at speaking, he just kept strengthening his defenses. The people who came were An Xian and An Yu. After eating Yun, the temporary feeling of fullness quickly dissipated. Star beasts have no physical form, so if they want to fill their stomachs, they still have to eat properly. After thinking about it, he felt that instead of leaving the food in the happy world to the mutants, it would be better for him to eat it himself. After walking towards Happy World for a while, I felt the fluctuation of star power and, more importantly, the aroma of barbecue. An Xian was excited to come and have a free meal, but after walking for a while, the aroma of the meat turned into a burnt smell. He was a little unhappy and quickened his pace, wanting to see which kid was wasting food. Facing Yan Qi, An Xian did not answer but asked instead. Did you roast the meat? Barbecue? Yan Qi was stunned for a moment, then he smiled strangely. In a sense, he had indeed just grilled the meat. You want to eat? An Yu tugged at An Xian's sleeves. Standing there, she could already see the raging fire that was still going on in the distance and a large number of mummies. An Xian leaned over, and An Yu whispered what she saw. A feeling of nausea came over me. An Xian fell into silence. When I thought about the barbecue that I just followed the smell and wanted to eat, but it turned out to be a bunch of mummies, I couldn't help feeling nauseous. The disadvantages of omniscience are clearly exposed. Within 300 meters, he can see almost everything, but beyond 300 meters, there is a complete blind spot. If I had eyes, I would never be disgusted by this. Why aren't you talking? Yan Qi had a joking expression on his face. Except for Song Yanwen, Li Gong, and Yang Gai, everyone else in Nan'an would die. Since this person is in Nan'an, he is naturally a target to be killed. He could sense that An Xian was quite strong, but how strong could he be at such a young age? He was able to sneak up behind me without making any noise. I guess he is just like Yinki, with extraordinary concealment skills. Besides, even if I can't beat them, there are still other people and the captain. Yan Qi reached into his pocket and pressed a few buttons blindly. After informing the captain, he decided to find out An Xian's background. He remained alert and further provoked. How about I get you one to try? We have all ages, but the older ones are tougher, and the female ones are fatter and oilier. I recommend the small ones, they are tender. If you are not satisfied with those, I can catch more for you. You don't have to catch it, there's one ready beside you. How well done do you want it? I'll grill it and you can eat it right away. When An Yu heard that she was going to roast herself for An Xian to eat, the corners of her mouth curled up and her eyebrows curved. A pair of crystal clear pale pink eyes revealed pity. Great! I learned a new word today. Chapter 54. Call you really disgust me. An Xian, who had been silent for a long time, spoke without a trace of smile on his face. The silence was like that of death, which made Yan Qi feel a chill all over his body. Damn it, I was actually scared by a young boy. He took only 2 steps and then shrank back behind Yu Qi. It would be better to be cautious. But on second thought, he felt that he was worrying too much. As a member of the Judgment Army, he had seen countless geniuses. At An Xian's age, the strongest he can have is C-level strength at most. In Yan Qi mind, he assessed An Xian's strength as B-level, which was comparable to his own. This is incredible. According to common sense, it is definitely an overestimation. If someone reaches level B at this age, he would have already become famous in the Federation and been recruited by major forces. It is impossible for him to be so unknown that he has never even heard of him. But just in case, Yan Qi decided to play it safe and wait for the captain to arrive. If I had an accident in a small place like Nan'an, they would laugh at me for the rest of my life. He smiled at An Xian, his tone casual and relaxed. Hey, I'm just joking with you, haha. As he was speaking, Yan Qi's eyes suddenly turned frightened. An Xian appeared in front of Yuki and stabbed with one hand. A hand with distinct joints ignored the layers of defense condensed by Yu Qi, broke through the star power barrier effortlessly, and penetrated into the body that he was proud of. Then, holding a ball of bloody flesh, he stabbed it from the back. That is, Yuki's heart. Horror. Great terror. Even if the captain wanted to kill Yu Qi, who was known for his defensive skills, it wouldn't be so easy. Who is he? How can he be so strong? This attack shattered Yan Qi's plan and also shattered his cognition in the first half of his life. He had never heard of such a young star warrior with at least A-level strength. You just said, are you joking? An Xian crushed Yu Qi hard and pursed his thin lips into a cold arc. But what if I take it seriously? But it won't be me. You will play the roles of both the ingredients and the diners. Yan Qi's body was stiff as he was locked in all directions by the omniscient vision. He didn't dare to move. The alarm bells ringing wildly in his head told him that if he moved, he would die. I watched Yu Qi lose his vital signs. An Xian pulled his hand away, and An Yu took out wet wipes from the small backpack he picked up on the way here and wiped the blood and flesh off his hands. Before, on Nan'an Star, there was a guy called something, I think he was Ying Qi, who also died in this way. He must be in the same group as you guys. Upon hearing this, Yan Qi's pupils suddenly shrank. Ying Qi didn't die at the hands of the star beast. He killed him. The peaceful sound continued. It seems so. They are all bad people. One of them spied on me and killed an A-level star beast, and the other one is here to disgust me. I have no grudges against you. I really don't want to cause trouble to you, but you insist on seeking death. Do you think you are cheap? Yan Qi felt increasingly depressed. An Xian said that Ying Qi spied on him killing an A-level star beast, so he had no need to lie. Considering the time of Ying Qi's death and the distance from Nanan Star to here, he doesn't have much time to recover. Looking at him again, he had no damage except for his broken sunglasses, which meant that the young man in front of him killed an A-level star beast without even exerting much effort. He wanted to inform the captain not to come, because if he came he would just be killed. But unfortunately, his every move was under An Xian's watch, so he had no chance at all. Yan Qi felt despair. Before coming here, I thought this mission was easy and just a relaxing trip. I didn't expect to run into such a vicious guy. The entire Judgment Team 7 might be wiped out. The blood on his hands was wiped off, and he leisurely pulled out Hengji. An set meal, would you like to know more? Near the city wall where the Nanan army is located. After the trial of the 7 arrests of Yang Gai, came here. Originally, they wanted to wipe out the Nanan army, but they discovered that they had a military soul. An army with a military spirit is extremely rare. Not to mention actual combat, its research value alone is not low. He asked for instructions from his superiors and received a new order to detain Nanan Jun along with Song, Li, and Yang. Don't worry about them for now, let's catch Li Gong first. An army with a military spirit will always put the orders of the commander-in-chief first. Force is not feasible. Judgment 7 plans to capture Li Gong first and then take over the Nanan army. Now let them resist the mutants here. Just as he was about to ask about the situation over there, he received a secret signal from Yan Qi. Didn't you take it? Judgment of the 7 doubts. 3 people went to Li Gong's place, all of whom had B-level strength that was no less than Li Gong's, so there shouldn't be any problems. He didn't call to inquire. The code means that Yan Qi is not in a position to speak directly, and he may be in battle or in danger. At this time, a man came to Judgment 7. Captain, Song Yanwen is fighting a mutant, what should we do? Let them fight, and finally capture Song Yanwen alive. Judgment 7 handed the unconscious Yang Gai over to the visitor. You've come just in time. Keep an eye on him. Yan Qi had an accident. I'll go take a look. Good. Old Li, you fought well. Li Gong is fighting with Li Qi. A familiar voice suddenly sounded in my ears. The two of them immediately distanced themselves and looked vigilantly in the direction where the sound came from. Leisurely. Yan Qi. The former is Li Gong. He didn't expect to see An Xian here. The latter is Li Qi. He saw An Xian holding Yan Qi, who had lost all 4 limbs. The broken parts showed some signs of self-healing, but he was also shredded by the star power and was bleeding continuously. An Yu followed An Xian with a chuckle. Hongji carried it on her shoulders with great effort, with 2 arms and 2 thighs worn on it. From the combat uniform above, it can be seen that it belongs to Yan Qi. What did you do to Yan Qi? Isn't it obvious? An Xian shook the half-human pig in his hand. Borrow a light, I'll take him to eat something good. You. Li Qi was furious, but saw Yan Qi shaking his head frantically, with the warning in his eyes almost overflowing. He clenched his fists and forced back the words that were about to come out of his throat. Yan Qi is in this state, and Yu Qi, who did not show up, is probably not in a much better condition either. He is most likely dead. He took down 2 people in succession without getting hurt at all. This young man is far more than his match. Don't go and die, find the captain. Did you hear me? Who of you has a light? Lend me a light. Repeat at your leisure. The 2 men were silent and fighting hand to hand, their clothes were almost taken off. Where did the anger come from? Poor BD. An Xian muttered something, then turned and walked away under Li Gong's astonished gaze. No, just left like that? If you kill 1.5, you should kill Li Qi as well. Li Gong shouted for help anxiously. An Xian. Give me a hand and help me kill him. An Xian paused, Li Gong was overjoyed, and raised his eyebrows. Your death is coming. Li Qi took a half step back and looked for a way to escape with his peripheral vision. The idea is difficult, retreat first. Unexpectedly, the expected safe attack did not come. Why should I help you? An Xian had an expression that said, "Are you teaching me how to do things? I have no grudge against him, why would I kill him?" Li Gong was dumbfounded and hurriedly looked for an excuse. Yan Qi burned more than 1,000 people alive. That's a beast indeed. Without waiting for Li Gong to be happy, An Xian changed the subject and shook the Yan Qi who was being carried. So I plan to kill him. As for the rest, it's none of my business. Chapter 55. Coco. Li Gong was at a loss for words. After fighting with Li Qi for a long time, he knew very well that the two were equally strong. If he continued to fight, he would be the loser when the other members of Judgment Team 7 arrived. If An Xian didn't help, he would have no way to deal with Li Qi. After a long while, his not-so-bright brain finally uttered a sentence. They are in the same group. An Xian was shocked. Which dynasty are you from? Why are you involved in a group crime? He killed Ying, Yu, and Yan for a reason. A good person does not learn, but learns to peek and see things that he should not see. One of them didn't know the pros and cons and stopped himself from doing Yan Qi. The last one disgusted himself, and then he got close to me to provoke me. If he doesn't die, who will? As for Li Qi, he was such an honest man that he never said a harsh word from beginning to end. An Xian is not a murderer, why would he kill someone with no grudge against him? It is not difficult to kill Li Qi, just like pinching an ant. It will not be too late to slap him to death after he jumps. If he doesn't jump, it doesn't matter if you spare his life. An Xian was too lazy to pay attention to Li Gong and turned around to leave. Suddenly, Li Gong had a flash of inspiration, and all his 7 orifices were opened. It would not be possible for An Xian to take action from the perspective of an outsider, unless it involves himself. Li Gong roared with all his might. Their goal is to kill everyone in Nan'an. You and your sister are among them. Oh! An paused and moved in front of Li Qi. The distance was so close that Li Qi could clearly see the cracks on An Xian's sunglasses and the blood that accidentally splashed on his face. He said, "You want to kill me and Pinky?" The omniscient vision madly broke into Li Qi's body. Li Qi's expression was unnatural, and his heart was beating violently like the drum of 2 armies fighting each other. His Adam's apple rolled slightly, he swallowed his saliva, and beads of sweat slid down his forehead. An Xian understood. Little pink hair. Elder brother. Someone wants to kill us, what should we do? An Yu looked up at Li Qi, the aho hair on his head swaying, and his childish voice as innocent and sweet as a silver bell. Kill him first, boom. Before An Yu finished speaking, Li Qi punched out. He was confident that the boy couldn't dodge at such a close distance. Wait till I punch him in the head. If An Xian knew what he was thinking, she would definitely laugh at him. Is there no way to avoid it? Within his omniscient vision, there is nothing he cannot dodge from attacks launched by people who are weaker than him, the only thing he can do is not want to dodge. This time, he didn't want to hide. He raised his hand lightly, seemingly without any strength. The arms of normal size are 2 or 3 times thinner than the sturdy arms of 7. The difference between their hands is even greater, Li Qi's hands can even wrap around his. Li Qi wanted to lock An Xian's head, but found that no matter what, he could not get rid of An Xian's raised hand. Then cut off your hand first. The fist and palm meet with a huge visual difference. There were no violent aftermath of the shock, no earth-shaking sounds. It was so quiet that even if 2 children bumped into each other, the noise would be louder. Li Qi gathered all his strength and threw a punch, but it was like a drop in the ocean. Smiling leisurely, he grabbed the face of the man with 7 fists and twisted it in the opposite direction. There were bursts of dense cracking sounds, and Li Qi's arms were twisted into a knot. A piercing pain attacked his whole body and his face turned purple. After 5 seconds, I finally couldn't hold it anymore. Ugh! I thought you were very patient. An Xian whispered, and suddenly exerted force, pulling his arm off. The flesh and blood at the broken end were uneven, and the white bone stumps were exposed to the air. The star power poured into the broken arm, and the arm became extremely strong, like a divine weapon. An Xian swung his sword and hit Li Qi's head. Bang! If it sounds good, it means a good start. With a thud, Li Qi's headless body fell to the ground like a golden mountain and jade pillar, splashing up a cloud of dust. An Xian threw away his broken arm, picked up Yan Qi, whose eyes were bloodshot, and faced Li Gong, who was stunned by the scene. Although you didn't lie to me, I don't like being taken advantage of. If it happens again, he will be a lesson for you. Little pink hair, let's go. Good. After An Xian dealt with Yan Qi, he no longer wanted to go to Happy World for a barbecue. He had no appetite for barbecue at the moment. The two returned to Nanan Star. When passing by the commercial street, they each found some clothes and took a quick shower. After a long time of hesitating, it was already dark when we returned to Nanan Xingtian. Are you hungry? An Yu rubbed his flat belly and told the truth. Hungry. Wait. Jump off Nanan Star at ease. The star beasts were afraid of An Xian's power. Until they were sure that he had left, they did not dare to set foot in the square and wandered outside the square. When they saw An Xian coming, they immediately scattered like birds and beasts. But if running was useful, Yun wouldn't have to die. He randomly picked a lucky F-class star beast to kill. Back on the star, An Xian brought the dead star beast close to An Yu's mouth. Eat it. An Yu blinked blankly, her pink lips slightly parted, looking so cute and adorable. Come closer and breathe in. Under An Xian's guidance, An Yu swallowed the first star beast in his life. She could devour a lowest level F-class star beast completely without any problem. After eating the star beast, I felt refreshed and no longer hungry. This thing can't replace real food, but it can relieve hunger. Just make do with it today and look for food tomorrow. After solving their stomach problems, the two lay down side by side. Nanan Star releases its star power all the time, keeping it warm in winter and cool in summer. The area above is not small, and it is almost impossible to tell that it is a sphere. Lying on it is like lying on a hard bed. After lying down for a while, An Xian heard the sound of a car engine. Judging from the sound, there are quite a few cars. An Yu climbed up and looked around. There was a convoy coming from the direction of Dongcheng district. Brother, someone is coming. An Xian didn't move at all. Don't worry about it. There are star beasts everywhere outside. They might be eaten up before they even get here. Oh. An Yu responded and lay down. Driven by curiosity, she folded her hands and placed them against the star, resting her chin on her hands, watching what was going on over there. Brother Wang Gang, why are these all star beasts? They said that after the city was captured, no star beasts were seen. They all ran here. Wang Gang remembered a piece of trivia he had seen before. After the city is captured, the star beasts are the least of your worries. They will first settle near a star, and will not start hunting humans until the novelty wears off. This excitement period will probably last 5 to 7 days. Following Song Yanwen's advice, Wang Gang drove towards Nanan Star with hundreds of people. Looking at the star beasts on both sides of the car, which did not move even after being run over by the car, he not only did not feel at ease, but became even more worried. Star Lord, you let us come to Nanan Star. Isn't this just like a sheep walking into a tiger's mouth? Li Huai looked at the head of a star beast poking through the body of the car and was so frightened that she dared not move and her voice became tearful. Brother Gang, why don't we go? Wang Gang gritted his teeth. You can't go any further, keep moving forward. Star Lord has no reason to harm us. With the current situation in Nanan, we will die no matter where we go. If we listen to Star Lord, we may survive. Tell the people behind to speed up and charge forward in one go. A place where thousands of people were burned to death. After Judge 7 arrived here, he looked around and found that no one could breathe. The flames were out, leaving charred marks everywhere. There was a streak of scarlet that was extremely eye-catching. It's Yan Qi. He had lost both his hands and legs, and was hung on a pole. His white combat uniform was completely stained red with blood. Judge 7 approached and found that his mouth was stuffed full of half-cooked meat. He looked down and saw a thigh with several pieces of meat cut off. As he raised his hand, a beam of light dispelled the darkness and enveloped Yan Qi and his severed limbs. After the light dissipated, Yan Qi disappeared with it. Judgment 7's body floated in the air, his eyes like a hawk, scanning the surroundings. Finally, he found Yu Qi on the roof of a building, with a pierced chest and no heart. In an open area, Li Qi was found with his right arm broken and his head missing. There were 7 teams to be judged, and 4 out of 10 were removed. He didn't even know who the enemy was. Judgment 7 stood still, his surging rage almost devouring his sanity. Good. 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 Little Nanan is great. Brother Gang, have you noticed that the closer we get to Nanan Star, the fewer star beasts there are? Li Huai leaned on the window and looked around. In the outer circle, there were piles of star beasts, and from time to time, their body parts would peek in through the car body. At this point, there are only a handful of star beasts on both sides. Wang Gang also noticed it and a look of confusion appeared on his face. That shouldn't be the case. Star beasts will gather towards the stars. The further in you go, the more there should be. And even if the attraction of the stars suppressed their desire for human souls, there is no reason for a star beast not to eat the food that is delivered to its mouth. Li Huiwei glanced at him. Do you really want the star beasts to attack us? That's not what I meant. I just can't understand it. It's too unreasonable. If all the star beasts were so honest, they wouldn't become the enemy of mankind like the mutants. Li Huiwei accepted his explanation and then said thoughtfully. Brother Gang, do you think it's possible that there is a more powerful being inside that frightened them? Wang Gang stepped on the brakes. It's not impossible. It is reasonable that if a star beast has a strong sense of territory, it would want to monopolize the star and not allow other star beasts to approach. But how strong must a star beast with such strength be to be able to intimidate so many star beasts? Looking through the front window, Nanan Square is right in front. The Nanan star in the center of the square is so conspicuous. Suddenly, he saw a little pink on Nanan star. What is that? Could it be the eye of that powerful star beast? Wang Gang hesitated for a long time and then stepped on the accelerator hard. No matter what, we're all going to die anyway, so let's go in and take a look. Chapter 56. The white fog was thick, and a giant white-haired beast was trapped in it. Roar! Roar! Angry roars resounded through the sky. Damn humans! If you have the guts, come and confront me head-on. At first, because of its white fur, it almost blended into the white mist. However, at this time, large patches of hair had fallen off, and the huge body was covered in blood. Suddenly, white mist condensed and attacked from behind the giant beast. The giant beast, whose 5 senses were weakened, was unable to dodge and another wound appeared on its body. The pain stimulated the nerves, and it angrily and madly hit everything around the body. The big supermarket where Wang Gang and others had hidden before has become a ruin. The 2 underground parking lots were smashed through. In the white fog, Song Yanwen covered his chest and dared not show his head. His face was as pale as gold paper. He had been careless before and got hit by a punch from the giant beast. Just one punch almost made him see Tai-Nai. Next time we encounter this kind of mutant, it's better to let Li Gong deal with it. In Nanan, the power of the stars healed his injuries. The star power that is continuously restored is not much, but it is better than nothing. Song Yanwen once again controlled the white mist and attacked the giant beast. After grinding for several hours, he had the blessing of the stars, but the behemoth did not. The giant beast is about to run out of strength. If it holds on for a while longer, it will be at his mercy. At this moment, a strong light pierced into the thick fog. The blazing light seemed to penetrate the sky and the earth, making the night as bright as day. Song Yanwen squinted and looked towards the light source. He vaguely saw a figure with wings on his back. Birdman. The figure slowly descended. The thick fog was dispelled by the light, and the giant beast regained its 5 senses. When it saw Song Yanwen not far away, the anger that had been accumulating for a long time burst out. Roar! Roaring with venting anger, running on all fours. He slammed his forelimbs into the ground with great force, quickly closing the distance between him and Song Yanwen. Song Yanwen activated the star power and tried to condense the white mist again. However, as soon as the fog arose, it was dispersed by the light. Broke in. He crossed his arms in front of him as the beast approached. They were prepared for both their arms to be broken, but the attack never came. He looked at it in surprise. I saw a pillar of light falling from the sky, piercing into the beast's head and killing it. Dead, dead. Song Yanwen was confused. If you hadn't seriously injured it, I would have had to do something more. The figure in midair fell, and the wings behind him turned into points of light and dissipated. His voice awakened Song Yanwen. Thank you for your help, Your Excellency. Help? Ha, I'm just too lazy to wait. The owner of the voice stepped out from the light. Captain of Trial Team 7, Trial Team 7, under the order of the Federation, arrest the chief criminal, Song Yanwen. Dozens of cars drove into Nanan Square. Nanan Square suddenly seemed extremely crowded. Under Wang Gang's command, they tried to stay away from Nanan Star and parked their car close to the edge. Inside a car, Li Huiwei spoke in a low voice without taking her eyes off Nan Anxing. Brother Gang, there seems to be no movement up there. Wang Gang looked for a while, and after entering Nanan Square, the height difference of more than 10 meters made it impossible for him to see anything on the star. The unknown is often the most frightening. I'll go up and take a look. Li Huai was shocked and hurriedly persuaded him to give up. Don't go. Who knows what's on the star? It's too dangerous. Wang Gang was silent for a moment and pointed at the skylight on the roof. I mean, climb up on the roof and take a look. Li Huai blushed, realizing that she had misunderstood. Well, then be careful. Wang Gang stopped talking, manually opened the car sunroof, and carefully stuck his head out. After waiting for a few seconds and seeing nothing unusual, he grabbed the edge with his arms and supported his body to get out of the skylight. Seeing how hard he was struggling, Li Huai wanted to ask why he didn't get out of the car and climb over the hood. Wouldn't it be much easier? After hesitating for a long time, he decided not to ask any more when he saw Wang Gang walking out. Otherwise, he would seem stupid. Wang Gang stood upright on the roof of the car, shivering in the cool night breeze. He tightened his collar and muttered, I'm freezing to death. He rubbed his arms and looked up at Nanan Star. Unfortunately, there was no electricity in Nanan, and the nights were terribly dark. The moon is resting today and the stars are inexplicably dim. To sum it up in 3 words, unclear. Wang Gang narrowed his eyes and looked around for a long time. I can't see anything. At this moment, someone touched my ankle. Wang Gang, whose mental strength was highly concentrated, was so frightened that he almost stumbled and fell. After calming down, he breathed a sigh of relief when he saw it was Li Huai. Huai, what are you doing? Here you go. Li Huai handed over a mobile phone. The battery was almost gone, but it could still last for a while. Wang Gang took it doubtfully. Li Huai said helplessly. Camera, camera. Oh. Wang Gang slapped his forehead and suddenly realized. Look at my brain. Li Huai sighed. The man she chose was okay with being a little stupid. Wang Gang turned on the camera on his mobile phone, switched it to night scene mode, and increased the lens magnification to the maximum. Snap. Wait for the circle on your phone to move. Because the environment was too dark, it took more than 10 seconds to process the picture. Before he had time to look, Li Huai urged him from below. Brother Gang, did you take the photo? Let me see. Give. Wang Gang handed the phone into the sunroof, and returned to the driver's seat through the sunroof under Li Huai's indescribable gaze. As soon as he sat down, a scream rang in his ears. It's a human. Li Huai covered her mouth and stared blankly at the phone screen. She loves taking photos, so the phone she bought has a camera function. Even in such a dim environment, you can still take a rough picture. People. Wang Gang came forward. In the picture, a pink-haired figure stands above the stars. There was a slight bulge next to her, as if someone was lying there. Could she be the one that the Star Lord said could protect us? Li Huai hesitated for a while. But judging by his height, he looks like a child. Above the stars. An Yu mobilized his star power to cover his pupils, taking in the entire convoy not far away. When Wang Gang climbed onto the roof of the car, she stood up to see what he was going to do. Seeing Wang Gang taking a photo and then shrinking back, An Yu sniffed and didn't smell anything bad. Elder brother. I called softly, but there was no response. Fell asleep peacefully. Maintaining an omniscient perspective at all times, with everything within a radius of 300 meters reflected in the mind, makes the brain work non-stop, which is a very exhausting task. Now there are stars below to adjust the temperature and simulate the most comfortable sleeping environment. There is a little pink-haired vigilant person outside, and she will warn if there is danger. So I slept peacefully, shutting down my omniscient vision and letting my brain have a good rest. An Xian's gentle breathing sounded, but An Yu couldn't bear to wake him up. Although I didn't smell anything bad, it wouldn't be appropriate to just leave those people alone who I didn't know what they were doing there. There are so many people around outside that I can't sleep well. She hesitated for a moment, picked up Hongji, slid down Nanan Star, and decided to drive them away. My brother is asleep, I can handle it, if you don't leave. An Yu held the bend of the cane and Hongji unsheathed it. Then don't leave. Chapter 57. Brother Gang, there's a little girl coming over. Li Huai shook Wang Gang and pointed forward. The one with pink hair is the one I just photographed. Not only her, An Yu walked over openly and was noticed by many people. Pairs of eyes were staring at her through the windshield. I'll go down and take a look. Wang Gang opened the car door and got out. Li Huai thought that he was too big and strong to deal with children as well as she did, so she hurried to catch up. I'm going to. Seeing Wang Gang and Li Huai get off the car, a few brave people followed. A group of people stopped in front of the convoy. Li Huai's cousin, Li Zhen, looked at An Yu who was already 10 meters away and muttered softly. And he's holding a knife? He's not a good person. An Yu stopped 3 meters in front of the crowd, and Hong Ji stood in front of him. Please leave here and go somewhere else. The petite and cute girl is holding a knife that is almost as tall as her, which creates a strong contrast. A few people didn't take it seriously, smiles appeared on their faces, and their tense mood relaxed instantly. Nanan Plaza is not yours, why should we leave? We finally found a safe place, we won't leave. It was the Star Lord who asked us to come here. If you have the guts, then let the Star Lord chase us away. That's right, this is a public place. A few people spoke up, but seeing that An Yu was just a child, they didn't say anything harsh. But leaving this place would endanger his life, so he couldn't help but say a few words. What a great achievement! You grown men, why are you arguing with a kid? Li Huai stopped them and gave An Yu a gentle smile. Little sister, where are your parents? An Yu pressed down the tip of the knife, forcing Li Huai to stop walking towards him. Her face was tense and she didn't answer. Why is a kid playing with a knife? What if he hurts someone? Be good and give the knife to your brother. Li Zhen intended to rescue his cousin and pretended to snatch Hongji from An Yu. If it were an ordinary child, he might have snatched the knife away. But is An Yu an ordinary child? Of course she wasn't, as she received An Xian's sincere affirmation. An Yu took a step back, then swung his sword down mercilessly. At the critical moment, Wang Gang grabbed Li Zhen by the collar and pulled him to the ground. After falling down on his butt, Li Zhen was dissatisfied and was about to ask Wang Gang what he was doing. Then he saw Hong Ji falling to the ground. A small half of the blade was embedded in the hard stone bricks of Nanan Square. Li Zhen broke out in a cold sweat. All the dissatisfaction in my heart disappeared, leaving only gratitude towards Wang Gang. Fortunately, Brother Gang held me back. Otherwise, if the knife cut his body, he didn't think his bones could be as hard as bricks. Li Zhen saved his life and stood up trembling. The look he gave An Yu was filtered through an ugly filter. Ignoring her delicate and lovely appearance, he roared. You want to kill someone? An Yu pulled Hong Ji out from the stone bricks, star power was flowing, and her light pink eyes revealed a creepy chill. Get out of here. Shut up. Wang Gang punched Li Zhen in the face, interrupting him with what he was about to say. He then bent down so that An Yu could see him without having to look up, and his tone became slightly flattering. Little sister, do you know An Xian? Do you know my brother? An Yu tilted her head slightly, and her tense little face relaxed a little. Misunderstanding? We are all family. Wang Gang was overjoyed when he heard her call An Xian brother. As soon as An Yu came over, he felt that Hong Ji looked familiar. But it was too far away and there was no light, so I couldn't see clearly. Just when Li Zhen was about to be chopped, he saw the familiar bend of the wooden cane in An Yu's hand and immediately remembered it. Your brother and I are acquaintances, and I was the one who brought him to Nanan. Real. Wang Gang raised 3 fingers of his right hand with a sincere expression. I swear, I really do. An Yu didn't say anything, wondering whether Wang Gang was lying. After a long time, Hong Ji fell down. If you lie to me, my brother will kill you all when he wakes up. Having said that, she turned and walked towards Nan Angxing. My brother is sleeping, be quiet and don't disturb him. Until An Yu disappeared from his sight, Li Zhen went to Wang Gang indignantly. Brother Gang, is it that serious? When Wang Gang saw his swollen profile, a hint of guilt flashed across his eyes, and he spoke seriously. I know whose protection the Star Lord wants us to seek. I have some friendship with him, so as long as we don't cause any trouble, we won't be driven away. When these words were spoken, everyone was amazed. Huai, you found a good man. Brother Gang, you have a really strong relationship. Even the ruthless man who intimidated so many star beasts is your friend. Brother Gang, please introduce me to someone. Wang Gang felt a little elated, but didn't promise anything. He knew that his friendship with An Xian was not that deep. It would be more accurate to say that he was able to arrive in Nan'an smoothly because of An Xian rather than saying that he brought An Xian to Nan'an. When it comes to major issues, Wang Gang is never vague. With the experience of traveling together, he could be thick-skinned and let An Xian not drive them away. But to make further requests would be ignorant. Nan'an Military Camp. In addition to the 13,000 Nan'an troops, there are 10 times more ordinary people here. They all received the news and gathered here to prepare to escape. In the tent, Chen Yi glanced at the time from time to time, feeling extremely anxious. We agreed to evacuate in 5 hours, but the time has long passed. The Star Lord, the Army Lord and the Chief, there was no news after the 3 of them went out. How could he not be anxious? What Chen Yi didn't know was that the Star Lord and the Chief, whom he had been thinking about, were not far away from him. A house a few hundred meters inside the city wall. Song Yanwen and Yang Gai were gagged and restrained on chairs. In the small room, besides them, there were 5 other judges. Crunch! Judgment 7, who had been searching for Li Gong in vain, pushed the door open and sat on the chair. You haven't told me yet. No, no matter how I ask, I don't know where Li Gong is. Judge 7 was losing his patience. It would not be easy to capture the Nan'an army without Li Gong. It's not that the Nan'an army is strong. Let alone the 7 judges, even a random judgment army soldier has the power to completely destroy the Nan'an army. The problem is that what Judgment 7 wants is not the bodies of the Nan'an army, but an intact Nan'an army. The safest option is to let Li Gong take command, or use Li Gong to command the Nan'an army, so that they will voluntarily give up resistance and follow him. Now Li Gong can't hide, Nan'an Star City is not small. He didn't have time to search inch by inch. What's the situation with the Nan'an army? Judgment 7 asked questions and Speed 7, who was in charge of monitoring the Nan'an army, answered. There are very few mutants outside the city. The Nan'an army suffered no casualties. They have gathered more than 100,000 Nan'an people and it seems that they plan to take them with them. Gathered hundreds of thousands of Nan'an people. Judge 7 tapped the table with his fingers, creating a rhythmic da-da-da sound. If Li Gong doesn't come out, then force him to come out. Go and control the Nan'an army, and throw 10,000 Nan'an people to feed the mutants. 1 hour, no, throw a batch every half an hour, I want to see how long he can hide. Chapter 58. Woo-woo-woo-woo-woo. Woo-hoo-hoo. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. When Judgment 7 finished speaking, Song Yanwen and Yang Gai twisted their bodies wildly, making unexplained noises from their throats. You want to confess? Judge 7 raised his hand and gave the order. Let them talk. Yes. Ju Qi used his 2 index fingers to touch the Adam's apples of the 2 people respectively. Star power flashed, and Song Yanwen and Yang Gai instantly regained the ability to speak. Federal dog. Let me go. I'll kill you. You beast. Alpaca. Did you hear that, alpaca? Judge 7's face darkened. Block it. Act immediately. Bring them along and let them see with their own eyes how the Nan'an people fill the stomachs of the mutants. Yes. Judge Qi shook his sleeves and went out first. As his body floated up, he looked towards the direction of Nan'an Star. After searching for Li Gong for so long, he will naturally not let go of Nan'an Star. When he got there, he found that the star beasts were surrounding the Nan'an Square and did not dare to take a step inside. Judge 7 approached Nan'an Square with doubts in his heart, and suddenly felt the overwhelming power. Instead of moving forward, he chose to retreat. As expected, the people on Nan'an Star were the murderers who killed Ying, Yu, Li, and Yan. I'll deal with you after the mission is completed. He fell down and headed towards the city wall with the other 5 judges, including Song Yanwen and Yang Gai. Nan'an Star shines. Li Gong found some medicine in the armory below and treated his wounds. When leaving, he killed a few low-level mutants. General Li Gong. General Li Gong, where are you? Li Gong heard a loudspeaker calling him. He followed the sound and found a car. There was an unfamiliar middle-aged man in the car. You looking for me? When the man saw Li Jun, he was stunned for a moment and became extremely excited. Military commander. Get in the car. We finally found you. Li Gong's thick eyebrows furrowed, and his eyes scanned the man like a laser. Something is wrong. Something is very wrong. What do you want from me? The man avoided his gaze and didn't meet his eyes. It's the Star Lord. The Star Lord asked us to come find you. Yet. Li Gong was in deep thought. The Inquisition sent people to arrest me, so there is no way they would let the Star Lord and the old goat go. I am lucky enough to have a peaceful life, but they may not be so lucky. Suddenly, he smiled, a relieved smile. Open the door and get in. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. The engine roared, the car reached ultimate speed, and the man wanted to step on the accelerator. When we got near the city wall, we didn't hear the familiar sound of artillery fire, only cries and shouts for mercy. When the man driving the car heard the sound, the sweat from his palms flowed down the steering wheel. Li Gong kept his head tilted to look out the window, looking at the city where he had lived his entire life and was familiar to him. The car stopped at the foot of the city wall and the man got out and opened the door for Li Gong. Military lord, we are here. His voice was barely audible. Li Gong patted the man on the shoulder and said nothing. He had already seen the Inquisition soldiers in white combat uniforms blocking his retreat and on the city wall. At this moment, the man suddenly collapsed and knelt down crying. My lord, I can't do anything. They're going to feed my daughter to the mutants. My wife is dead, I can't be without a daughter. I can't help it. I really can't help it. I'm so sorry. Get up, it's okay. Li Gong calmly helped the man up, then looked at Judgment 7. Can you let them go? They are just ordinary people who know nothing. I want the Nanan army. Okay, but I have to let it go. Ugh. Judgment 7 need Li Gong in the abdomen. I'm informing you, not discussing it with you. 4 team members died and he was so furious that he had no mood to talk to Li Gong. Let Ju Qi restrain Li Gong, and a cold voice drilled into his ears. None of them will survive, that's what the house means. Cooperate with me and take the Nanan army away. I can make them die a quick death. After saying that, light surged from his fingertips and pierced through the head of the crying man. Like this. Beep, beep. The phone kept ringing with notification sounds. I stretched lazily and when I woke up it was already noon. Anu was lying down playing with her hair out of boredom. When she saw him wake up, she jumped up. Elder brother. He cried out and immediately covered his stomach in grievance. Hungry. The feeling of fullness brought by the star beast is only temporary. To put it simply, it is to swallow the star beast, make the stomach feel that there is food, temporarily deceive it, and when it comes to its senses and finds that there is no fart, it immediately starts to make a fuss. What a bad person. He even deceived his own stomach. I'll take you to find something to eat later. Good. The omniscient vision that had been suspended for a night unfolded, and he noticed the convoy parked in Nanan Square. Wasn't it eaten by the star beast? He didn't even notice so many cars driving into the square yesterday, which shows how soundly he slept. Anu suddenly thought of Wang Gang. There's a big guy in there. He said he's your acquaintance and that he brought you to Nanan. Wang Gang. The word An Xian came out of his mouth. Is this old guy still here? I thought they all evacuated with the Federation. Anu breathed a sigh of relief. I really didn't lie to myself. Fortunately, I didn't kill anyone last night. An Xian put it behind him and took out his cell phone. There were over 99 messages, all of which were private messages sent to him by people in the Freedom Forum. What's going on? He was a little confused. He didn't receive more than 2 private messages in the whole year, and yet he received 99 plus in one night? Little Tailor, a video of yours has exceeded 100 million views? That's pretty fast. That day, I sent the 2 videos to the Little Tailor for editing, and they were finished and uploaded on the same day. How long has it been? An Xian found that the difference in views between the 2 videos was a bit large. The first issue, Men in Silence and Women in Tears. Nanan after the collapse of order, received less than 1 million views. The second episode, The Awakening of a Beautiful College Student, has already exceeded 100 million yuan. There is also a huge gap in the reward amount between the 2. Why? Just because Cheng Xian is on the cover of the second issue? Is this the power of LSP? This shouldn't be the case. Cheng Xian is pretty, but not to this extent. He couldn't figure it out. However, the promised reward still needs to be paid. I sent a message to the Little Tailor who was still sending messages. Star Chasing Traveler, over 100 million views. The fur of the B-level mutant will definitely be yours. But some are too big and inconvenient. I can't peel them all off and take them away. I can only give you enough to fill a backpack. Finally, a restriction is added, you can only get paid once for each video, and the views are valid within 1 month from the date of the video release. The last 2 restrictions are supplementary clauses to prevent the little tailor from encountering bugs. Otherwise, if you just keep posting a video, the number of views will definitely increase. Moreover, every time he breaks through a level, he will receive a reward. He doesn't even dare to do this if he tries to cheat the system. The young tailor was very satisfied with this. He sent several messages of thanks, attached his own delivery address, and promised to pay on delivery. In front of the computer, the little tailor looked at the Star Network popularity list and saw the number 1 trending search, and he grinned foolishly. Su Mei, President of the Beauty Association, appoint An Xian as the Secretary of the President of the Beauty Association, and she will be fully authorized to handle all affairs of the association on my behalf. Under this trending search, the first hot comment was posted by the little tailor. Little tailor, who is An Xian, a 19-year-old female college student? Please click the link to learn more about the growth path of this beautiful college student. When the young tailor thought about receiving a B-level mutant's fur, he was so excited that he punched the table. An Xian is awesome. It feels so good to ride on this wave of popularity. Unfortunately, he was so overwhelmed by the surprise that he apparently forgot that the excitement had just begun, so he went to find An Xian to fulfill his promise. Otherwise, it is not impossible for the number of views to reach 1 billion in a month. Chapter 59. Your Highness, the 7 judges. This is the Federal Military Headquarters, what can I do for you? Meet the General. Okay, wait a moment. The Captain of the Judgment Army has the right to contact the Federal Army. But usually the military headquarters will be contacted first, and the operator will confirm that the General is available before the call is transferred. After about 3 minutes, the operator confirmed the completion. The General has approved your request and is transferring the call to you. Beep, beep, beep. Judgment 7. These 3 simple words were transmitted into the ears of Judgment 7 through the receiver. He seemed to see a towering mountain, and its heavy and majestic aura came towards him, forcing him to lower his head. General. Explain. An unexpected incident occurred during the Nanan operation. An unknown strong man was discovered, and 4 members of the Judgment Team 7 were killed. The few seconds of silence felt like centuries to Judgment 7. He lowered his head even lower, his heart pounding so hard that it was about to burst out, and his chin was about to hit his chest. The general on the other end of the phone is the top official who holds the federal military power and is in charge of all military operations. Oh! The general suddenly chuckled, and the sarcasm in his laughter was not concealed. Why are you looking for my military department instead of reporting the matter of the Judiciary Army to the federal parliament? Judge 7 did not dare to answer, for if he did, he would surely offend one party. The Ministry of Military Affairs is in charge of federal military affairs, and the Court of Inquisition is a military unit, but it is directly under the federal parliament, which is not in accordance with the rules. And when a Star Warrior is born in the army, he will be immediately transferred to the Star Warrior department. Normally, the 2 departments are clearly separated. However, the armies of Judgment and Judgment were composed of Star Warriors, which was even more against the rules. Under such unruly circumstances, the Army of Judgment and the Army of Judgment were still established. A naked power grab in front of the Bundestag. The General Commander of the military and the General Commander of the Star Marshal Department were helpless and could not speak out. After all, in name only, the Bundestag is the highest federal authority. The Military Department and the Star Marshal Department are both under the Senate. The only thing that can be done is to ignore the existence of these 2 armies. And when executing the orders of the House of Representatives, they should make some obstacles within the prescribed scope to discuss the other 72 dog-brained congressmen. Anything else? I'm busy. The general's low voice was full of obvious impatience. I would like to request the military to launch a bombing on Nanan. Judgment 7 gritted his teeth and stated his purpose. After dealing with the Nanan army, he weighed the pros and cons for a long time and felt that his chances of winning against An Xian were slim. But the federal order was to execute everyone in Nanan except the targeted personnel. An Xian is naturally also within the scope of execution. Besides, 4 of his subordinates died, and he just quit and ran away. How would the remaining team members look at him? How could he still be the captain? You can't win by fighting, and you can't leave either. After much deliberation, Judge 7 decided to request the military to carry out bombing. It was uncertain how long An Xian would stay in Nanan, and it might be too late to ask for help, so it was better to use a high-intensity, full-coverage bombing to get rid of him once and for all. Bomb Nanan! The general was about to retort and ask the House of Representatives to give an order first, but he suddenly remembered an application he received this morning. He pulled out a document from the top drawer. Research Institute No. 8, Application for Test Explosion of Interstellar Nuclear Missile. Open it and there is a brief introduction on the homepage. Star Nuclear Missile, pending test. Star military technology improved upon the discovered prehistoric nuclear bomb data. Most of the materials were replaced with high-purity star ore, and then 1S level and 10A level star warriors infused star power into it day and night, bringing the star power contained in the star ore to its peak. Star core missiles will detonate the star power in the star mine after a nuclear explosion at the target location, causing a secondary explosion and resonating with the star power in the air. Both the range and power will be increased exponentially, the general pondered for a moment. You can bomb Nanan, but I demand that Team 7 be put on trial and that they unconditionally carry out 10 missions for the military. Judge 7's eyes widened, and he unconditionally carried out 10 tasks. If he really dares to do that, the House of Representatives will raid his house. Impossible. 3 at most. Good. The General Army agreed that several missions were not important. When the time comes, let the 7th Judgment Team wear women's clothes and come to guard the gate of the military headquarters. He sent someone to record a video and posted it on StarNet, and then paid out of his own pocket to hire a group of internet trolls. When the matter gets out of hand, some people in the House of Representatives will probably be so angry that they won't be able to sleep. Seal off the city and retreat. The goal was achieved, and Judge 7 gave his order. Thousands of star-painted transport vehicles, urgently requisitioned from other star cities overnight, drove out of the city carrying 13,000 Nanan troops. After the last car left the city gate slammed shut. The 100,000 troops of the Nanan army were all locked up in the city. Judge 7 promised Li Gong that he would let these Nanan people die quickly. Wait a minute, the missile will explode and kill you instantly. How satisfying! Soon, all the cars stopped at a plateau 10,000 meters away from Nanan Star City. Lead car. The 6 people from the 7th trial team, along with Song, Li, and Yang, sat in the middle. Don't you want to take another look? Soon, Nanan Star City will only exist in history. Judge 7 stood with his hands behind his back, taking in the entire Nanan Star City through the front window. Song Yanwen and the other 2 closed their eyes and remained silent. If it weren't for their breathing, they would have looked like 3 dead statues. They kept trying to awaken the star power, but to no avail. With the power of Judgment 7 and the reinforcement of Judgment 7, the star power in their bodies is almost locked. Except for their high physical strength, they are no different from ordinary people. Not getting an answer, Judgment 7 didn't care. Turning his gaze towards Nanan, he wanted to see with his own eyes the city, the people in it, and the murderer who killed 4 of his team members, destroyed in the bombing. Behind the Nanan army convoy, the people in Jie followed in their car. I'm late. Did you see clearly? Are you sure it was the Judgment Army who took them away? No doubt about it. When I was leaving the city, I saw Judgment 7. Trouble. The 2 men in black frowned. Whenever something happened in the past, the Federation was always the last to arrive. This time, it was so fast. What to do? Wait a little longer. Armies with military spirit are too rare. I am unwilling to give up. Look over there. One person pointed out the window, and the other looked in the direction he was looking, only to see a car in a hidden place 200 or 300 meters away. The style of the vehicle is very different from the Federal transporter. The 2 looked at each other. Did you meet someone in the same profession, at the same time? The people in the car also discovered them. Hiding, it's Ji at first glance. The driver sneered. The person next to him took over. We don't seem to be that upright either. We are the Light Welcoming Council, representing light. But, we're still hiding here. The driver was so angry that he was silent. Replace. Go back and apply to replace this tactless and unconscious teammate. Nanan Star. A thought of leisure arises. The check-in progress bar appears. 99.16%. I thought it would be evening. At this rate, it won't be long before it's full. Slide down Nanan Star leisurely. I'll go get some food from Gangzi. Just as An Yu was about to suggest going together, a stench of ultimate suddenly emerged. Her legs went limp and she fell to the ground. The sense of crisis that rushed into her brain almost made her faint. She supported herself on the ground with her fair and delicate arms, and tried to stand up staggeringly. An Xian noticed something was wrong with An Yu through his omniscient vision and quickly returned to the star. He helped An Yu up, one hand red and the other blue, and while combing An Yu's body, he soothed her soul. "Are you okay?" With the help of Chuan Hand, An Yu quickly regained consciousness, her face showing fear. "Danger, danger! Brother, there is danger!" Chapter 60. Danger? What kind of danger could it be? An Xian didn't take it seriously. The fatal danger to An Yu was not even a small matter to him. However, An Yu's next sentence dispelled his idea. "Unlike He Yun, I want to bring my brother in this time too. It's still dangerous." Hearing this, An Xian calmed down and became more serious. "You mean, it's dangerous even for me?" An Yu has proved his ability many times. Therefore, An Xian did not doubt her judgment. It was possible for An Yu to become so panicked that he could only speak normally with his help. "I'm afraid it's going to be a big trouble." An Xian gently stroked An Yu's long pink hair, and his blue hands constantly soothed her panic. "It's okay, I'm here, the sky won't fall." An Yu leaned towards An Xian and felt much more at ease. "Can you sense where the danger is?" An Xian planned to take the initiative and nip the so-called danger in the bud. An Yu glanced around timidly. The feeling of being about to die just now left her with a lingering fear and she dared not try again. There is no pressure. He still has some cards up his sleeve and is confident he can handle anything. The Nanan star under my feet has increased my confidence exponentially. I'll go get you something to eat first. An Xian signaled An Yu to let go and go downstairs to get some food. Maybe you'll feel better after eating. At this moment, An Yu, who didn't want to disappoint him, hardened her heart, closed her eyes and quickly moved her nose around. The blood quickly faded from her delicate face. In the blink of an eye, it turned from a rosy little apple into a pale piece of paper. Her body swayed and she hurriedly hugged An Xian's legs to avoid falling down. It's everywhere." An Yu seemed to be frightened, her distinct eyelashes trembling, and the fear in her light pink eyes was about to overflow. Suddenly, she pulled An Xian's sleeve and tried to run downstairs. "Brother, let's go. Let's go. Don't stay here. There are dangers everywhere. Nanan is full of dangers. It's not too late to run now." An Yu's incoherent speech made An Xian nervous. Is there danger everywhere in Nanan? The answer seems obvious. Does the Federation want to bombard the ground with artillery shells? There was one thing he couldn't understand, Nanan had become such a mess, was it necessary? It can't be that it was done specifically to kill him. If the general knew what he was thinking, he would definitely say it was a misunderstanding. To put it bluntly, what An Xian has revealed so far is not enough for the Federation to eliminate him by bombarding the ground with missiles. Unless one has both hands, there is still a chance that the matter of healing the soul will be exposed and he will join the enemy camp. This time it was pure bad luck, as I encountered the destruction of Nanan City and the test explosion of the Star Core missile. Safe induction clock in progress bar. 99.18%. It's a bit reluctant to leave now. Do you want to take it head on? The peaceful mind gives rise to entanglements. It's not that I can't get through it at all. Conventional firepower weapons are ineffective against itself, and as for missiles, it cannot be said that it is completely immune, but it has no problem protecting itself and An Yu. But he did not forget that there were still a few people alive in the Judgment Army. If the consumption is too great and those guys are put in trouble, we will have to show our cards and suffer huge losses. Forget it, let's hide for now. At worst, we can come back after the explosion is over. An Xian held Hongji in his hands, picked up An Yu, and jumped off Nanan Star. I wonder how long it will take. An Yu curled up in his arms, recalling the crisis she had sensed. About half an hour. That's enough time. Brother. After Wang Gang woke up in the morning, he kept his eyes on the direction of Nanan Star. An Xian hadn't gotten up yet, so he didn't dare to disturb her. Now that he had finally gotten An Xian down, he went over to say hello. Gangzi. An Xian responded and decided to take Wang Gang along. I have two hands, so carrying one more person will not affect the speed. Nanan is probably going to explode. I'm in need of a driver. Come with me. The joy of reunion was frozen on Wang Gang's face. No, bro. We just met, and you told me that Nanan was going to bomb? We have been reunited for a long time, although it hasn't been long, that's not important. The important thing is that we should sit together and reminisce about the past 2 days. He asked stutteringly. You said. I said Nanan was going to explode, and not long after, bang, it exploded. An Xian grabbed Wang Gang by the collar and was about to leave. Why are you asking so many questions? You just need to know that I can make sure you live to see tomorrow's sunrise. Wang Gang's mind went blank. From seeing An Xian, imagining the reunion with old friends, to being told that Nanan was about to die, and then to being brought up, it took no more than half a minute in total. Not far away. Li Huai kept an eye on Wang Gang all the time. When he saw him being brought up, he thought An Xian was going to do something bad to Wang Gang. She was totally devoted to Wang Gang and suddenly became panicked. Brother Gang! What are you doing? Let Brother Gang go! Who is this? An Xian frowned slightly. Wang Gang quickly came back to his senses when he heard Li Huai's voice. He struggled hard to break free, and his collar was torn into pieces before he finally got out of An Xian's hands. Hey? What? Don't you want to live? An Xian was puzzled. In his impression, Wang Gang was a man who valued his life very much. Without waiting for Wang Gang to speak, he took the initiative to save people, but this old guy refused? I want to live, but I can't leave. Wang Gang hugged Li Huai, who rushed over to him. I'm so happy. I didn't realize that he is such a romantic person. You really don't want to come with me? When you came here, didn't you say that you would buy equipment and become a treasure hunter when you return from Nanan? Wang Gang grinned naively and held Li Huai's arms tighter. Hey, I already am. Tisk. An Xian said no more, tapped his toes lightly, and quickly walked away with Anu in his arms. Wang Gang waved goodbye. Brother. You are a good man. Gangzi, I wish you all the best in the future. After the voice fell, he looked in the direction where An Xian left, in a daze for a long time. Just now, he gave up the hope of living with his own hands. Li Huai looked up at Wang Gang, her face full of guilt. Hearing the conversation between the two, she realized what Wang Gang had lost. Brother Gang, you. What? Don't you want to die with me? No, no, no. That's not what I meant. Li Huai quickly waved her hands and saw the smile on Wang Gang's face and realized that she had been fooled. She wasn't angry, but she didn't continue the topic either. Who is that person? Him, his name is An Xian. He has great abilities and will definitely be a big shot in the future. Wang Gang showed an expression of pride. It is the good fortune I, Wang Gang, accumulated in my previous life that enabled me to meet such a powerful figure. Li Huai pouted, and a sour taste came out of nowhere. Didn't you run into me? Why are you jealous of him? He's a man. Yes, it's all about you too. If I hadn't met him, I wouldn't have met you. Isn't that right? Snort. Wang Gang suddenly carried Li Huai in his arms like a princess, and she exclaimed. Let's go to Nanan Star. I've never seen what it's like in my life now. Countdown to the arrival of the Star Core missile in Nanan. 002321. Chapter 61. Little Pink, what exactly are your abilities? Rushing, An Xian asked. After so long, Anu has returned to normal. She rubbed her nose and tried to organize her words. I think of something in my mind, and then consume my star power, and I can smell a fragrance or a stench. The two flavors represent positive and negative results, and the intensity of the flavor is linked to the degree of the result. Is that so? Although it is auxiliary, it can be really great if it is developed well. By the way, brother, if you encounter a big danger, like the black cloud last time, and just now, even if I didn't take the initiative to smell it, there would still be a big stench. Also has an early warning function? An Xian suddenly thought of a question. So, when you first met me and said you smelled a good person, that was actually a lie. Anu's shaky hair stopped moving, and he quickly buried his head in An Xian's neck, without saying a word. Is there anything more tragic than receiving a nice guy card for the first time in your life, from a little girl? Answer, the nice guy card given by the little girl is fake. An Xian suffered a critical hit. The injury I suffered now was not as serious as the one I got hit with a black brick by the old man 2 years ago. Little Pinky, don't lie to me anymore, okay? An Xian spoke with deep meaning. He didn't want to cover Anu with his omniscience all the time. Otherwise, Wouldn't it seem like you're AHI? An Yu responded quickly, afraid that if he was too slow, An Xian would think he was insincere. Rushing all the way, releasing the star power leisurely and deliberately. The powerful star power shocked the mutants coming and going. When passing by Jinyang Garden Community, I stopped leisurely. He remembered that his bag was still at Cheng's house. If you don't pass by here, just throw it away. Since you are passing by, you might as well take it away. Jinyang Garden Community is deserted with people dying and leaving. An Xian locked onto the window of Cheng Xian's bedroom, jumped out and broke into the room. On the desk, there is an ordinary black backpack. An Xian grabbed the bag, was stunned for a moment, then reached into the bag and took out a forehead protector. It was the star mine forehead protector that Wang Gang gave him when they parted ways in the city. All of a sudden, I felt a mixture of mixed feelings and felt a bit uncomfortable. Brother, what is this? It was the basis for people to survive in the wilderness, and it was also the most precious thing to that big guy, but it's not the case anymore. An Xian shook his head and laughed. Now, his most precious thing is his treasure. As I was talking, I couldn't laugh anymore. It is hard to repay a favor and it is hard to betray someone's sincerity. An Xian could sit back and watch Nan'an destroyed, with hundreds of thousands of people dying in front of him, without being moved at all. Even asking him to press the missile launch button is not impossible as long as the benefits are there. But for Wang Gang, a big fool who had almost nothing, he gave his most precious thing to himself. It is not easy to get over the psychological barrier of having the ability but not saving someone. An Yu looked at the forehead protector. The plain straps and the star mineral pieces that are so light that they don't even have many patterns on them give you the feeling of being made in a low-quality workshop. She wondered if this thing was precious. The scent at the tip of her nose told her the answer. Brother, do you want to save that big guy? An Xian was silent for a long time and asked instead of answering. I need to know, what is your standard for judging danger? If I am included, is it based on the abilities I have demonstrated? This is very important. If there is danger to yourself, no matter whether it is Wang Gang or Li Gang, your own safety always comes first. Only when you are alive do you have the chance to feel guilty. However, if you can save the person but don't do so when you yourself will not be affected, the knot will take root in your heart. An Yu's long eyebrows were slightly frowned, and her little face showed distress. This question is difficult to answer. She only knew that good results smelled good and bad results smelled bad, but she couldn't really tell the specific criteria for judgment. Seeing this, An Xian understood, it's just that you don't know your own abilities. Have to. He picked up the little pink-haired kid and jumped downstairs. After putting her down, Hengji stood upright in front of him. Bang Kai. Guanyin. As soon as he uttered the word An Xian, a huge female shadow appeared behind him, slowly solidifying. At this moment, An Yu's eyes suddenly widened. Gone. The stink is gone. Although no fragrance is produced, the stench is gone, which means nothing will happen. She stared curiously at the shadow of the woman behind An Xian. As soon as this sister came out, the bad smell was gone, so strong. Safely interrupt the supply of star power. The semi-illusory red princess dissipated. The shell of the half-broken cane was restored. Immediately a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. It seems that your ability is to judge things based on known information. The abilities I have not shown to you are considered unknown information and are not within the scope of consideration. An Xian put away the forehead protector, picked up An Yu and returned to Nan'an Star. Gangzi, you are so lucky. A mere missile attack is not worth mentioning. As for those judges. An Xian sped up. The big red girl has been taken out. Now we don't have to worry about whether we will be ambushed or not, but we need to consider whether we should catch them. His life principle is not necessarily to repay a favor, but to repay a grudge. The Federation used missiles to bomb An Xian, and An Xian killed a few judges. It was a two-way exchange. How perfect. Countdown to the arrival of the Star Core missile in Nan'an. 000736. Return to Nan'an Star at ease. It was discovered that Wang Gangzheng and Li Huai were kissing passionately on the planet. An Xian was so angry that he kicked someone from behind. I'm running back and forth in pain, but you two are quite happy. Who dares, brother? How long does it take from rage to surprise? Wang Gang said 1 millisecond is enough. Why are you back? After Li Huai got up, she shrank behind Wang Gang embarrassedly under An Yu's gaze. When she heard Wang Gang's question, she also showed a curious expression. An Xian took out the forehead protector in annoyance. Do you know what this is? Isn't this the star mine forehead protector I gave you? No. An Xian threw the forehead protector to Enyu to play with. This is your fate. I. Wang Gang reacted quickly. From what he heard, he wanted to save himself. And Huai wouldn't die? He wanted to thank her, but he was inexplicably choked up and couldn't speak. Go away and stop bothering me. Well. Countdown to the arrival of the Star Core missile in Nannan. 000111. Judgment 7 looked up to the sky. A streak of fire flashed across the sky. Here we go. In a minute, there will be a big fireworks display up ahead. In the back seat, Song Yanwen and the other two still kept their eyes closed and remained silent, but tears were streaming down their eyes. They don't want to see the fireworks at the expense of Nannan. Not far away. The people of the Welcoming Light Council and Silent Night had the same doubts. What is that? Missile. Just one missile, what's the use? Countdown to the arrival of the Star Core missile in Nannan. 000042. Elder brother. I know. An Xian held Hongji tightly and was about to bangkai when a voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Ding! Nannan Star City check-in progress 100%, check-in successful. Congratulations to the host for getting. Chapter 62. Ding! Nannan Star City check-in progress 100%, check-in successful. Congratulations to the host for winning, Romantic Fort Pumpkin Cannon. The next check-in Star City has been unlocked. Please go to Jureo Star City to complete the check-in. Pumpkin. Relax and wander. Is it a spear-shaped imperial weapon whose power is proportional to the degree of danger its user is in? The system transmits the relevant information to his brain. As he expected, there were some minor changes to the romantic battery. In critical moments, the basis for the power to be greatly enhanced remains unchanged. Combined with the star power of this world, the pure spiritual energy can be stimulated, and then it can be stimulated by a mixture of star power and spiritual power. Personal recommendation, I strongly recommend Akame Ga Kill. A super sweet love story. An absolutely healing masterpiece. Sincere face.jpg, brother. Anu pushed An Xian and was about to cry. She could already see the tail flame of the Star Core missile streaking across the sky, but she didn't expect An Xian to suddenly stop moving. It's coming. It's coming. Ah! An Xian came from the past life, chasing anime alone late at night, and escaped from the memories that were so moving that they were in a mess. Why are you reminding me to sign in at this very moment? Are you doing this on purpose, dog system? With a curse inwardly, the space in front of him split open, revealing a huge metal gun with mysterious patterns engraved on it. An Xian reached out to grab it and was about to throw it aside when a crazy idea suddenly came to his mind. How about trying out the power of this thing? A plateau 10,000 meters away. Judge 7 answered the phone and bowed his head respectfully. Congressman Chi. An hour ago, the He family Chable reported that An Xian, the gold medal free man of the Free Forum, has the ability to create a star warrior. He is now in Nannan, and after an emergency meeting, we have decided that you must bring him back at all costs. Take it back. Any questions? Judge 7 looked at the missile that had arrived over Nannan, his throat became dry, and he rolled his Adam's apple with difficulty, feeling that the problem was serious. Under the Nannan stars, Wang Gang and Li Huai clasped their hands tightly together. Brother Gang, can Mr. An do it? Ah! Wang Gang shouted. The huge noise caused by the landing of the Star Core missile made him unable to hear clearly what Li Huai said. Turning around, I saw the panic and fear on Li Huai's face. He pulled Li Huai into his arms and yelled at the top of his voice. Believe in the little brother. He can do it. Above the stars. An Xian's heart was pounding, and he made a crazy decision. His body glowed red, and with the power of Red Hand, he weakened his physical strength to the maximum extent. The star power, his own mental power, and the mental power that had been swallowed up and had not yet been digested were poured into the held-up pumpkin cannon like they were free, leaving not a single bit for himself. The more dangerous the situation, the more powerful the romantic turret. An Xian wanted to try out how powerful the pumpkin would be when its own strength was suppressed to the lowest and the danger level increased dramatically. Of course, the safety of life cannot be ignored. The red girl hanging by your side, within reach, is your guarantee. Even if the car fails in the end, there will be no problem in saving the people in Nanan Square. The tremendous energy flows along the lines on the cannon-shaped pumpkin and converges towards the muzzle. The star power and mental power condensed into the ultimate energy ball, which emitted brilliant golden light and even tore tiny cracks in the space. An Yu looked up at the sky, not daring to look directly at the pumpkin. The blazing light on it was comparable to the scorching sun. At this moment, she had a doubt in her mind. I don't know where An Xian got such a big gun from. But I wonder, if An Xian is blind, can he aim at the missile? Brother, move a little to the left. She couldn't help but remind him. An Xian grinned but did nothing. Aim? Unnecessary. Cannons were never meant to be aimed. At this moment, the Star Core missile was already 1,000 kilometers away from Nanan. Gently press with your right index finger. The energy ball gathered at the muzzle of the pumpkin cannon froze for a moment, then suddenly exploded. It spreads from a point and spreads to 100 meters in an instant. Give it to me, shoot it. A beam of energy with a diameter of 100 meters shot up into the sky. Buzz. At this moment, time seemed to stop and the world was silent. Everyone, including An Xian, was deprived of hearing and vision. 10,000 meters away. The phone in Judge Seven's hand fell to the ground with a click. He saw the light. A beam of brilliant golden light swallowed the Star Core missile and rushed straight into the sky. The clouds in the sky were torn apart, revealing a huge hole. He thought about what would happen if this attack was directed at himself. Just thinking about it makes me break out in a cold sweat. You can't escape. You will definitely die. Not even ashes left. The Star Core missile collapsed under the power of this shot. The moment the nuclear explosion occurred, it was annihilated by the beam of light. Just when An Xian wanted to put away his gun in a casual manner and say lightly, "That's it," an extremely huge energy wave was brewing in the sky. Star nuclear missile, star, before nuclear. The power of a single shot is stronger than a nuclear explosion. The effect of triggering the second starburst was also better than what the No. 8 Research Institute had expected. Most of the structure of the Star Core missile uses high-purity star ore. After being infused day and night by an S-class and 10A-class star warriors, each of them consumed it at least 3 times. In other words, the star power reserves therein are at least the amount of 3 S-level and 30 star warriors, which is extremely terrifying. Such a vast amount of star power condensed and detonated in an instant, causing a star power riot, and flattening an entire star city would be a piece of cake. Possessing partial authority over Nanan Star, An Xian is extremely sensitive to the fluctuations of star power in Nanan Star City. Almost instantly, he sensed something unusual. Star Force Riot. This is similar to the method he used to trigger a star power riot and find Cheng Xian. But the means used by the Star Core missile are extremely extreme and far less peaceful than his. The consequences would be such that the entire Nanan, except for Xing, would be wiped out. No wonder there's only one missile. Whispering peacefully, he continuously absorbed star power from Nanan Star to restore himself. If it was in the past, I might not be able to protect myself and the little pink-haired girl, but the past is the past after all. Trying to cause a star power riot in front of someone who possesses star power is ridiculous. Calming his mind, he felt the original star power in the star and cheered. Consciousness gradually merged with Nanan Star. This is the first time such a deep integration has occurred since he gained power. When I first gained power, the warmth of curling up in the mother's womb came over me again. This time, An Xian did not resist. He was immersed in it and never tired of it. On the side, An Yu widened his eyes in shock. The star that was said to be unchanging and indestructible by human power had actually changed. The planet under An Xian's feet softened, and he gradually sank down, as if he wanted to take root in it. When it sank to the knee joints, An Xian suddenly woke up. He felt that he and Nanan Xing were one and the same. The power of the stars. Merge with the stars. By doing so, you can grasp the star power of Nanan in your hands. Chapter 63. Powerful. More powerful than ever. The almost inexhaustible star power fills the whole body. Relax and breathe a sigh of relief. The breath that is exhaled is all condensed from star power. Look up and face the core of the starburst. That place is beyond the perception range of the omniscient vision and cannot be perceived by An Xian. But it doesn't matter. With the thought, the unconscious star power was dispelled, and the area near the starburst became an absolutely star power-free environment. Without star power, causing a star power riot would be a joke. Then, Endless star power passed through An Xian's body and flowed into the pumpkin cannon. The tone is casual and frivolous. You're the one who called me a missile. The energy gathered at the muzzle surged. The 100-meter-long golden energy column suddenly expanded 10 times. The energy that was released alone was stronger than the full-strength shot he had just taken. This is the power of stars. The most powerful and top force in this world. The star power around the starburst was deprived. The only thing left is the star power contained in the missile itself. Although it is not weak, it is just a desperate resistance in front of the star. The wreckage of the star core missile completely disintegrated in the cannon light. The energy beam continued to surge into the sky, exploding with a loud bang. The sea of clouds rolled and dissipated in an instant. The whole Nanan is cloudless. A second sun appeared above the clear sky. Everyone in Nanan, including those on the plateau 10,000 meters away, saw this miraculous sight of 2 suns appearing in the sky. The energy column gradually dissipated, and he put away his gun calmly and uttered the 2 words he had been holding back for a long time. That's it. Brother is awesome. The supporting actor An Yu gave cheers at the right time. Looking at An Xian's shining eyes, my admiration was beyond words. From now on, she, An Yu, is An Xian's #1 fangirl. An Xian waved his hand pretending to be nonchalant, looking calm and composed, full of pressure. It's just a missile. I can't even use 1/3 of my strength to help. Wow. An Xian felt that it was enough, if he continued pretending he would be exposed. Holding on to the pumpkin, I stretch my legs. Pull, pull, I can't pull it out. Damn it. Calm down and integrate into Nanan Star again. After a while, his face gradually became ugly. You can go in, but you want to get out? Dream on. An Yu saw his trouble, ran over, grabbed An Xian's legs and pulled him out. I tried so hard, but it still didn't help. Brother, what should we do? She was anxiously trying to find a solution, when suddenly Hongji came into her sight. In her opinion, there is nothing that this knife cannot cut. An Yu's spirits perked up, and he quickly drew out Hongji and stabbed at the star body beside An Xian's leg. Clang! The clanging of metal and iron echoed. Hongji, who in her mind was invincible, suffered her first setback. No, this knife can't cut it. An Xian, who had been thinking about countermeasures, came up with an idea when An Yu used Hongji to split the star. Little Pinky, use a knife to chop off my legs. Okay, hey. No. I won't cut it. An Yu took a small step back while holding Hongji. The little expression staring at An Xian warily is so adorable. I'll think of a way. You can't cut off the legs. If you do, they'll be gone. It's okay, come on. Leisure encourages a smile. If you can't do anything about the star, then change your target. As for the legs, they can be grown again using either the Shuangchuan hand or the Hengji Bangkai. The legs can't be the same as the eyes, they have to be original. Should, maybe not, right? Thinking of his eyes, An Xian felt a little unconfident again. Tongzi, can I grow a new leg if I lose it? Can this time, the system did not keep you in suspense and answered quickly. I feel relieved. I'll trust you once. If you lie to me, you'll have to compensate me with my legs. Completed communication with brother Tongzi. Be calm and try to convince An Yu from a different perspective. Don't worry, think about it, if I'm in a wheelchair, I'll have to let you push me in the future, so you don't have to worry about me not wanting to. Puff. The knife is very sharp and the cut is very smooth. An Xian wasn't even prepared and fell to the ground with a thud. His legs broke, and he gasped, with only one thought in his mind. This girl is rebellious. An Yu squatted at An Xian's broken leg, wanting to see if it could grow back. Her eyes were sparkling, and even without the need for omniscience, An Xian knew what was going on in her mind. Use red hand to quickly stop the bleeding from the broken legs. White bones grew, blood threads were entangled, and flesh and blood were born. By absorbing the original star power of Nanan Star and using it to power Red Hand, the 2 lost calves quickly recovered. Well. Did you sigh? No. I said brother's leg can recover, that's great. Did you say that much? An Xian was too lazy to argue with her, so he stood up and stood on the star with his bare feet. This was his first time using the red hand to regenerate a severed limb. He would have to try it out to see if it was any different from before. After jumping around on the spot for a while and kicking sideways a few times, he had the answer in his mind. The new limbs are not as good as before. After a while, the star power will flow and nourish them and they will be fine. At this time, An Xian noticed that Nan Angxing was slowly healing, and the remaining legs disappeared. He stood there for a moment, thinking about something, put Hongji back into the sheath, and threw the pumpkin to An Yu. You will be punished by carrying a gun. An Yu reached out subconsciously. Hongji is almost as tall as her, and pumpkin is even taller than her. The gun in the hand knocked her down. Fortunately, at the last moment, An Xian grabbed the pumpkin cannon and prevented it from hitting her. Can you recite it? An Yu got up, grabbed the pumpkin and carried it on his thin shoulders. With the help of star power, he adjusted his position several times before he could hold it steady. She smiled at An Xian as if to seek credit. Able. An Xian invoked his omniscient vision to check her physical condition and make sure that carrying the pumpkin would not overload her body. Sure. An Yu tilted her little head slightly, with a bright smile on her face, and her swaying alopecia looked very happy. The two of them left Nan and Star one after the other. An Xian got angry when he thought about losing his legs. Although it has grown out now, it really hurt when it broke just now. We can't let those judges go, we must kill them to vent our anger. Otherwise, we won't be able to enjoy our meals. Little pink hair, can you find the judgment? After a pause, An Xian suddenly remembered that An Yu had never seen other judges. Not to mention An Yu, he himself had never seen one, and the 4 who had seen one were all killed. Under An Yu's puzzled gaze, he found another way and thought of a solution. Can you find the person closest to us who is wearing a white combat uniform like Yankees? If you can't find people, then find clothes. The battle uniforms of the Inquisition army can't be common goods that can be found everywhere. An Yu recalled the details of the combat uniform, especially the pattern of wings and sword on the chest. When burning Yingqi combat suit, even using star power couldn't burn that piece, and in the end it was An Xian who took action to destroy it. Therefore, she had a deep memory of that white combat uniform. After recalling everything, An Yu put down the pumpkin, closed his eyes and sniffed it carefully. At the same time, on a plateau 10,000 meters outside the city, the members of Judgment Team 7 all had an indescribable feeling. The strongest Judge 7 keenly captured the strands of star power and attached themselves to their combat uniforms. He tore it apart immediately, then thought of something and looked at Nanan with his face changing drastically. After the beam of light, the missile disappeared, but Nanan still existed. Quick! Isolate the star power that doesn't belong to you. Otherwise, take off your combat suit and throw it away. Immediately he picked up the intercom and gave orders to the people behind him. Let's go! Let's go now! Chapter 64. Over there! An Yu opened his eyes and pointed in a direction. It would be better if everyone from Team 7 of the Judgment Team threw away their combat uniforms. The problem is that Judgment 7 tore the star power thread into pieces the moment he discovered it. In just this moment, An Yu gained something. Okay. An Xian raised his knife. Wait here, I'll go deal with them and come back to pick you up. An Yu grabbed the corner of An Xian's clothes and let go after a few seconds. Good. Squat down comfortably and extend your pinky finger. Don't worry, I will definitely come back to pick you up. Let's make a pinky promise. Anyone who doesn't keep his word is a puppy. An Yu quickly hooked An Xian's little finger. Hook. After completing the childish but sincere ritual, An Xian rubbed her head. Very quickly. Strange, where are the people? Even when they reached the city wall, An Xian still found no trace of the Judgment Army. Not only them, even the Nanan army was nowhere to be seen. What remained was just a large group of Nanan people who gathered here to spontaneously resist the mutants. After a little thought, he slapped his forehead. I should have thought of it earlier. Anyone who dared to use such a powerful weapon to bomb Nanan must have run away. But what about the Nanan army? No one was found alive, and no one was found dead. Could it be that they ran away together? He climbed up the city wall. There were all kinds of people there, all busy with their own things, and no one paid attention to him. He grabbed a middle-aged man and asked him. Where is the Nanan army? The middle-aged man gritted his teeth. They ran away. Even the Star Lord and the Army Lord ran away with those guys in white clothes. The reason why he didn't mention the head was because ordinary people didn't know much about Star Warriors, and the head of the Star Martial Arts Division, Yang Gai, was not within his acquaintance. An Xian shook his head. Impossible, there must be something wrong. Given their personalities, it would be impossible for them to take the initiative to run away with the Inquisition army. Do you know which direction they went? The middle-aged man pointed to a plateau. We were there just now, and we could see their convoy through the telescope. They want to see Nanan bombed and us killed. Fortunately, with the blessing of Nanan Star, the bomb was destroyed and they left. Blessing from Nanan Star? An Xian smiled and said, I guess so. Okay, thanks. He walked toward the city wall. The middleman wondered why he was holding a walking stick and going to the city wall. Was he trying to poke the star beast from a distance? An Xian took out the forehead protector given by Wang Gang and put it on. Feeling that something was missing, he untied it again, pulled out Benihime, and carved an Uzumaki pattern on it. Fingertips rub the star mineral slices. It tastes just right. Tie up the forehead protector to ensure that the radiation does not affect the brain. Then, in the middle-aged man's shocked gaze, he jumped down from the towering city wall. Hey boy! Don't jump! He ran over quickly and saw a group of people gathered at the place where An Xian jumped. Even though they were locked in the city, with so many of them encouraging each other, no one has committed suicide yet. Unexpectedly, the first person to commit suicide was not a woman or an old man, but a young teenager. How did you? The middle-aged man ran over and fell silent. An Xian landed steadily on the ground and waved upwards. No. Nothing. His eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. No, it's okay to jump from such a high. An Xian had no intention of solving his puzzlement. He drew out Hongji and slashed out with a red light. The star beasts and mutants still wandering outside the city were all killed by the sword. Just consider it as payment for asking questions. With a mutter, he put away his knife and rushed in the direction the middle-aged man pointed. Judgment Team 7 brings with them 10,000 Nanan troops, so they are a big target and won't be hard to find. 10 minutes later, they were out of the range of radiation that the star could block. Stepping into the wasteland, the ubiquitous radiation corrodes your peaceful body. An Xian's steps did not stop, and a red light appeared on his body. If you could cut him open and observe him carefully under a microscope, you would find that his body cells, under the influence of red light, constantly repeat the process of destruction and rebirth. It is no exaggeration to say that in just a few minutes, he completely replaced his body with a new one except for his brain. This is a cool operation that An Xian thought of. The body is exposed to radiation and the pollution level is raised. What will happen? At worst, I can just change my body. If his brain wasn't too mysterious and he wasn't afraid of it collapsing, he wouldn't even wear a forehead protector. Another 10 minutes passed, and An Xian was beginning to wonder if he had gone in the wrong direction, when he suddenly heard the faint sound of a convoy moving. He followed the sound, and with his speed, it only took him 5 minutes to see the first car come into his omniscient field of vision. Found it! Keep the red hand replacing cells at all times, which consumes a lot of star power, so you need to fight quickly and decisively. He released his own aura, the star power surged, and the sound spread to the entire convoy. You bastards from the Judgment Army, come out and let me kill you. We are in a hurry. Figures flashed quickly, and the scenes inside the transport vehicles came into mind. No, not yet. When the scan is halfway through. A beam of light broke through the car's sunroof and pierced towards An Xian. Immediately afterwards, several figures broke out of the car and attacked An Xian at the same time. Take the initiative? That's pretty brave of you. Hongji was shattered, and red crescents were cut out. That's it. Su Qi sneered and moved quickly. With his speed, it was effortless for him to dodge the attack. Hearing his voice, An Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. You still put it on. Speed 7's speed was so fast that he was almost invisible. Even Captain Judgment 7 couldn't catch up with his speed, which he was so proud of. In terms of ability to save his life, he is second to none among the 7 trial teams, and no one dares to claim to be first. You have the ability to catch, An Xian appeared in So Qi path and waited for him to run into him. Grabbing So Qi head with one hand. What did you say? If Su Qi had run away in a straight line, An Xian might have let him go, because this guy was really fast and difficult to catch. But instead of running, he circled around in peace, using pure speed to move, as if the omniscient vision was just for show. The moving path is clearly explained to you. He exerted force with his palm and crushed So Qi head. A headless corpse fell to the ground, facing the others leisurely with a kind smile. Next. 3 minutes later. Pull Hongji out of the last person's body. An Xian held the bloody knife in his hand and walked towards the transport vehicle from which several judges had just rushed out. Dong dong. One of the best windows. The first time, fine cracks appeared on the car window. The second time, the car window shattered under the weight. Mr. An, may I ask? What are you pretending for? An Xian interrupted him. In his omniscient vision, apart from himself, his star power was the strongest, like a beacon. Such an expert pretends to be a driver and treats people as fools? You're the one who let the Federation bombard me with missiles, right? The Federation sent the Inquisition army, and unless there are any unexpected events, they will definitely not use any other means. The only possibility is him, the captain of this trial team. Only by applying to the federal government can we get that missile. It was also because of that missile that he broke his leg. Damn, it still hurts when I think about it now, damn it. You are such a disgrace to your ancestors as a boss. I killed all your subordinates and you dared not even fart. What's the point of living such a miserable life? Be obedient, let's not live anymore, just let me take you down to accompany them. Chapter 65. Thousands of transport vehicles, like a long steel dragon, are entrenched in the wasteland. When An Xian killed the members of Judgment Team 7, many Nanan soldiers were silent. The Trial 7 arrested Li Gong and forced them to abandon Nanan. They even locked up the 100,000 people they had gathered in the city in front of them, attempting to kill them all with a missile. They wished they could eat the flesh and bones of the Judgment Army. Seeing the Inquisition soldiers die one after another at An Xian's hands, if the scene wasn't inappropriate, they would have opened some champagne. Judgment 7 was mocked in the face, but he could tolerate it. Not only was he not angry, but he forced a smile. Mr. An, I think there may be some misunderstanding between us. You killed a few of my subordinates, so you should have calmed down. How about we sit down and talk it over? Talking about it is indeed a good way to solve the problem. Just as Judge 7 showed a look of joy, a hand suddenly reached out, grabbed his collar, and pulled him out of the broken car window. But I'm not in the habit of talking to dying people. The moment Judgment 7 was pulled out, his clothes exploded and he broke free from An Xian's hands. Immediately, a dazzling light burst out from each pore, concealing the body. An Xian opened the car door calmly and said hello to the people behind him. Hey, where are the 3 wooden figures? Song Yanwen, Li Gong, and Yang Gai were all blocked and frantically blinked at An Xian for help. Have fun. An Xian ignored them and took a pack of meat patties from between the passenger seat and tore them open before eating. After eating the meat pie, I soon felt a little full. It's a specially made high-energy fast food. It's good and very filling. Muttering to himself, he grabbed the remaining packets and stuffed them into his trouser pockets. The little pink-haired girl hasn't eaten yet, so I'd like to go back and let her try some. The white light was maintained at 10 meters. Judgment 7 is hiding in it and is not far away. He originally wanted his team members to attack An Xian first, while he himself disguised himself as a driver and observed secretly. Try to find the enemy's weak spot and strive to defeat the enemy with one blow. However, the more I watched from beginning to end, the more frightened I became. So much so that all the team members died and they were unable to take action. However, based on the information He Cha reported to the Federation and his own observations, he did gain nothing. You are blind. You just noticed. The voice of Judgment 7 sounded in the light. You have a way to see around you, but it's limited. Oh, and then. As long as I'm out of your range of perception, you can't even see me. Judge 7 smiled confidently. And I can keep attacking you from a distance, cutting you like a soft knife, and slowly wear you down to death. An Xian ate another piece of meat pie and went into the car to open a bottle of water. Gulp a mouthful of dazzling light and feel full and satisfied. He ate and drank without any disturbance, which made Judge 7 at a loss. In his expectation, having revealed An Xian's weakness, he should be extremely panicked, and then he should take the opportunity to invite him back to the Federation to report. As expected, something went wrong in the first step. The strength is there, and it won't be a problem if you don't eat for a long time, but you will still feel hungry. Now you are full and satisfied, your hunger has subsided, and you can rub your stomach leisurely and open your mouth. Have you finished talking nonsense? If you have, I'm going to take action. Judgment 7 has a gloomy face and is stubborn. This person has no intention of talking at all. The Federation has issued an order asking you to go. Do you want to go against the Federation's wishes? I'm a free man, and you're arresting me with a federal warrant. Are you crazy? An Xian suddenly rushed in one direction and stabbed with a knife. Judgment 7 in the light quickly dodged. Before he could steady himself, a red light wave came towards him. Can't avoid it. Then touch it. Judge 7 clenched his right hand, star power surged, and the white light around him suddenly condensed into a shield. Since it can't block safe detection, there's no need for the light curtain to exist. The red light wave slashed the 10-meter-long light shield condensed by white light. Boom! A strong wave of fluctuations broke out. The dozen or so cars closest to the vehicle were immediately overturned. Nothing more. Judgment 7 was previously frightened by Nanan, the golden beam of light that shot out the star-blasting nuclear missile, and felt great psychological pressure when facing An Xian. Seeing the red light waves being blocked at this moment, I couldn't help but feel relieved. It's not that scary. Judge 7 sneered, the tension he felt after reaching ultimate made him feel a little relaxed, which made him feel swell. Since you won't cooperate, I will break your hands and feet and take you to the House of Representatives, leisurely. No, little brother. You blocked my casual attack and you dare to act so arrogantly? Come on, I beg you to break my arms and legs. If you can't, I'll scatter my ashes for you later. Leisure lifts your spirits. It is safest to despise strategy and pay attention to tactics. Judgment 7 is at least an A level, which is equivalent to his own level. Besides, this is not Star City, there is no spring, there is no blessing and recovery from the stars. Taking him down would not be as easy as killing those B-rank judges. We have to come up with something real. Just as An Xian was about to take action, Judgment 7 turned around and ran away. Want to escape from the detection range of the all-seeing vision? How could An Xian do as he wished and follow him immediately? Su Qi, who specializes in speed, wants to run, so there may be a slight chance of success. Judgment 7, forget it. The distance between the two men gradually narrowed, and they were also getting farther and farther away from the Nanan army's convoy. On a hill, Judgment 7 stopped. You can run pretty fast. He stopped, but he was at ease. He approached with a knife, and the red light wave reappeared. Run? I just don't want to affect the Nanan army. Judge 7 showed disdain and used the same old trick again, gathering a light shield to resist. An Xian became curious when he heard this. You didn't care about your little brother's death, and you still care about the Nanan army. Hearing about his younger brother, Judge 7 became furious, and the deaths of his team members came to his mind. He had been afraid of An Xian before, but he didn't show it. But it was different now. An Xian's words were like adding fuel to the fire, making his anger grow. If they didn't have military spirit and were useful to the Federation, I would have killed them long ago. Just like you, if Counselor Qi hadn't specifically asked for you, I would have killed you. The red light wave collided with the light shield, causing quite a stir. Then I have to thank Qi, Razor Red Princess. Amid the explosion, An Xian spoke to distract Judgment 7 while quietly approaching. When approaching the light shield, it suddenly jumped up. By the time Judge 7 noticed, it was already too late. The 10-meter-long deep red crescent moon came towards them, smashing the light shield like a hot knife through butter. Mean. Judgment 7 retreated violently, and in an emergency, beams of light shot out. Innocent. He will come up to you at your leisure and take your life when you are sick. Bind it, Benihime. A long, dark net with red light on it enveloped Judgment 7. He was already being forced to retreat violently by the crimson crescent moon, and facing the big net, he had no way to avoid it. Hello. A beam of light dropped from the sky and hit the crimson crescent with pinpoint accuracy. The two disappeared after a powerful explosion, but Judgment 7 had no time to escape and was caught in the big net. An Xian didn't give him a chance to escape. Hongji stabbed downwards and landed on the net. Fire Travel Red Princess, String of Beads. Chapter 66. Boom boom boom. At the intersection points of the mesh, fist-sized black balls were born and then exploded one after another. The power of the explosion created cracks on the ground. The bound Judgment 7, seeing the explosion approaching, his inflated mentality quickly shrank. It was a completely one-sided beating. He didn't even have the chance to use any tricks and was crushed from beginning to end. Light solution. Judgment 7 roared, turned his body into light, and escaped from the hole in the net at the critical moment. Boom! The final explosion of the black balls sent flames shooting up into the sky, and the residual power caused dust to fly within hundreds of meters. After escaping from the center of the explosion, Judgment 7's face turned pale and his heart was filled with fear. If I really take this explosion head-on, I'll be dead soon. Ahem. He covered his chest and coughed, with blood oozing from the corner of his mouth. Photolysis, using star power to forcibly decompose the body into light. If there is a slight accident, there is a high probability that the body cannot be reassembled. Even if they are reunited, the damage done to their bodies is irreversible, so it is an absolute life-saving measure. You're quite capable. You actually managed to escape. A leisurely and melodious voice floated out from the fire dust. Judgment 7 said nothing, locked onto one direction, and ran wildly. No match. There is a huge gap between my strength and An Xian's. I'm afraid he has already reached the S-level threshold. If I try again, I don't have the ability to use photolysis a second time. An Xian chased and shouted from behind. Aren't you going to break my arms and legs? Don't run. The wasteland is full of radiation. Where can you run to? Instead of being irradiated and turned into a mutant, wouldn't it be better for you to let me kill you? Every word went into Judgment 7's ears, but he ignored them. From time to time, he would consume a large amount of star power, let the light wrap around his whole body, and thrust forward for a distance. Despite this, the distance between the two is narrowing little by little. Judge 7 calculated the distance between the two, as well as the star power reserves in his body, and felt a little relieved. There's still time. If we lead him over, the situation will be unpredictable. An Xian realized that the direction he was fleeing was where Nanan Star City was. Thinking that I was just about to go back, I followed him closely, playing like a cat trying to catch a mouse. 10 minutes later. Judgment 7 fled without any detours, with a strong purpose. An Xian has speculations. Are there any reinforcements? He quickly ruled out this possibility. The Judgment 7 have been chased like dogs. If they need reinforcements, they can't hide. So what does he want to do? After thinking for a while, An Xian roughly guessed it. It can't be that deformed mutant. He looked odd, and that was a coincidence. I was just about to deal with Judgment 7 and then go back to skin it. 5,000 meters outside the city. Seeing that we are getting closer and closer to our destination. Judgment 7 rapture. He had long noticed that An Xian was walking himself like a dog. This made him feel extremely humiliated. From childhood to adulthood, I have never suffered humiliation. Leisurely. Why call daddy? Compared to Judgment 7 who was panting and whose star power was almost exhausted. It was as leisurely as taking a walk, and he even had time to take out a meat pie to eat. When Judge 7 saw this scene, his blood rushed to his head, and his pale face turned red in an instant due to excessive consumption. You will pay the price for your arrogance. Beiji you. Judge 7 was furious, and suddenly condensed a ball of light and smashed it down to the ground. Boom! The ball of light exploded, leaving a deep hole in the ground. After the mutants outside the city were killed by An Xian, the people on the city wall had nothing to do and gathered in groups of 3 or 5 to discuss what to do in the future. Hearing the noise outside the city, they thought the mutants were coming again, and hurriedly stood up to prepare for defense. But when I looked through the telescope, I saw no distorted species. Some are Judgment 7 who continuously condense balls of light and bombard the ground like laborers. There was also one holding a red bean paste in one hand and a meat pie in the other, standing nearby as leisurely as an overseer. Come on, you haven't eaten yet. An Xian urged him and even sent a pack of meat patties. Would you like to have a bite? Get lost. Judge 7 was filled with grief and indignation, but he could not stop. Here is his last hope. You don't even want to eat the guillotine, you deserve to be starved to death. An Xian put away the meat pie with regret. Call out that big guy down there, and I'll let you breathe later. Keep your word. You know. Judgment 7 froze. An Xian was confident, but he began to panic. Don't stop. An Xian kicked him on the butt as a kind reminder. It doesn't matter whether I know it or not. What matters is that it is your hope, not mine. Judge 7's heart sank. Squeeze the star power again and bombard the ground. The pit on the ground became deeper and deeper, and the land was slightly undulating, as if something was moving. An Xian could feel the breath of living things below. It's a grade A mutant. The little tailor's reward for the video was the fur of a B-grade mutant, but there was a ready-made A-grade one, and he was too lazy to go out of his way to look for a B-grade mutant. Of course, you can't do business that will put you at a disadvantage. This A-grade mutant's fur can be considered as an advance payment. After that, the views of the video edited by the little tailor will not generate new rewards until the value of the fur is consumed. This issue of The Awakening of a Beautiful College Student is worth 1/10 of this fur. Just 9 more issues like this will be enough. Thinking of this, An Xian kicked Judge 7 again. What's the matter? Are you slacking off? Judgment 7 was kicked to the ground and simply lay there without getting up. Tired, destroy it. If he had known this would happen, he would rather stay on the hill and give up using photolysis. Being killed by that damn black ball was at least a quick death. The grievance surged in his heart and he wanted to cry. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. From childhood to adulthood, Judge 7 has thought about how he would die countless times. The only thing I didn't expect was being played to death. Smack your lips leisurely. This guy has a bad mentality. He just lies down and starts moving. People's hearts are so impetuous nowadays. Yes, I have to do it. The mutant underground is really timid. He was yelled at for a long time but didn't come out. Since it doesn't come out, go down and find it. Bang Kai. Canon Kai, Hung Ji Kai. The vast and strange star power is released. Judgment 7 gained strength from nowhere, and quickly stood up and stepped back a distance, looking behind An Xian in shock. A huge woman with long hair in a classic bun, wearing a sleeveless dress, and with puppet-like joints slowly solidified behind An Xian. He felt inexplicably touched. If An Xian had used such means at the beginning, he won't have a chance to escape. A bitter taste spread in his heart, and a dejected atmosphere enveloped Judgment 7, draining his entire spirit. It's really despairing. The materialized Hong Ji closed her eyes and lowered her head behind An Xian, her black hair fluttering slightly in the wind. Her gentle and beautiful appearance is harmless to humans and animals, and it is hard to associate her with bloody killings. Judge 7 spoke unwillingly. Why didn't you use this trick at the beginning? An Xian was surprised. Do I need to use my ultimate to hit you? Chapter 67. Whisper plus Infinity, Armor Penetration and Critical Strike. Judgment 7 was completely silent. From the beginning to the end, I have never caught An Xian's attention. An Xian, that would require me to have good eyesight. Bang Kai. Guanyin opens, Hung Ji changes. Within the scope, everything touched by Zanpakut can be reconstructed and transformed. An Xian jumped into the pit created by Judgment 7, and Hung Ji held on to the ground. The soil below melted and the deep pit expanded rapidly. Judgment 7 was very painful, so painful that it hurt. Since you can't use your big move to defeat me, you want to use it to dig a hole, right? 100 meters underground. In the abyss of darkness, there stood a gigantic creature. The huge eyes opened wide, revealing a pair of cold vertical pupils. As an A-level mutant, its IQ is not low. When Su-mei arrived, it offset a wave of pressure from the mutants. Later, Su-mei collided with An Xian's star power, and it immediately drilled into the ground. Even though the city behind was broken, there was no movement. There is no other reason, just cherish life. It is better to skip a meal than to die. Suddenly, the disappearance of the soil layer above startled it. The pair of vertical pupils revealed a human-like surprise, and then, they dived down. Boom boom. With a movement like a mudslide, the huge body quickly drilled into the deeper depths. An Xian was shocked. He had never seen such a cowardly mutant before in his life. Run? Can you run away? Hung Ji Bang Kai's ability spreads. While melting the previous soil layer, the underlying soil layer is reinforced. It blocked the one below, which was said to be an earthworm but had a snake's head, and was said to be a snake but had the body of an earthworm, from escaping. An Xian couldn't help but sigh that the radiation in this world is magical. Neither snakes nor earthworms have reproductive isolation. Catching one and throwing it to the previous life can make all biologists question life. Let's call this hybrid species snake worm. The reinforced soil layer was constantly crushed by it, but it did serve as a barrier. An Xian increased the injection of star power, and Hong Ji melted the soil layer faster. 10 seconds later, appeared where the snake's head was before. Its body was too huge, and its head took more than 10 seconds to get out, but its body was still there. The overall length and the omniscience of leisure cannot be encompassed. I waited curiously, wanting to see how long this thing was. I waited for another half a minute, and he was still drilling. Without waiting any longer, Hong Ji stabbed. The tip of the knife touched the seemingly fragile body of the snake earthworm, but failed to pierce it. It's like a stick poking rubber and it just sinks in. As the snake moved, the tip of the knife scratched its body, but there was still no way to stop it. The snake earthworm seemed to sense that An Xian could not harm it, so it simply stopped there. Hey, you look down on me. An Xian was happy. He just tested its defense and did not use its Bangkai ability. Hong Ji stabbed again. Where the tip of the knife touched, a long crack appeared on the snake's body, revealing the wriggling flesh inside. Buzz! A dull hum echoed underground. The crack continued to expand, and the stopped snake began to move. The tip of Hong Ji's knife touched the snake earthworm safely. Star power was continuously injected, tearing its body apart. However, at this moment, the snake worm body in front of him stopped moving again, or to be more precise, it was abandoned. The broken body ran away. An Xian was stunned, but didn't continue to chase. Using flash doesn't kill, and cutting off the body counts as well. The snake earthworm left behind a nearly 100-meter-long body fragment, and it would be impolite to chase it. Anyway, the original purpose was not to kill it. He easily manipulated Hong Ji to cut out about 10 square meters of skin from the broken body of the snake worm. The dark brown skin is very thin, smooth to the touch and very tough. The quality is so high that it is difficult to pierce with a red sword, so it is suitable for making into protective gear, let alone clothes. That should be enough. Roll it up easily and clip it back to the ground. Judge Seven's eyes widened when he saw what was in An Xian's hand. You killed it so quickly. Although I don't know what kind of creature is underground, it is definitely A-level. Moreover, it was fighting at home, but it was defeated so quickly. No. An Xian flattened the skin, rolled it up again, tore off Judgment 7's clothes, tied it up and put it on his back. That thing was pretty decisive. It broke off and ran away. I was too lazy to catch it. Forcing the A-level mutant to escape in dismemberment at home. Horrible. Judge 7 was shocked and suddenly felt severe pain in his body. Oink oink. A few flashes of knife light flashed, and all 4 limbs of Judgment 7 were severed. He groaned but did not scream. He's a man. An Xian picked him up and ran towards the city wall. Although you didn't get the big guy out, I'm kind enough to let you live. On the city wall. Seeing An Xian carrying Judgment 7 who had lost his limbs, everyone quickly made room for him to stand. An Xian gave them a warm and friendly smile. I've got a big baby for you. Judgment 7's limbs were broken and bleeding, and soon a pool of blood formed on the ground. Everyone looked at the miserable Judgment 7 with pity on their faces. Some people glanced and turned their heads away. It was too cruel and they dared not look. When An Yu activated his ability, Judgment 7 threw away his iconic combat suit, so these people did not recognize him. An introduction at just the right time. He was the one who locked you in the city and planned to blow you up with missiles. The reluctance on everyone's face disappeared without blinking. The person who turned away turned around instantly. It was too light. You were too gentle. This beast should be chopped into minced meat. All the eyes that wanted to skin him alive, tear out his tendons, pick his flesh and smash his bones fell on Judgment 7. He was terrified and frightened. Others are the butchers and I am the meat. For the first time in his life, Judgment 7 showed fear towards these inferior people in his eyes. He gave An Xian a pleading look and roared in fear. Don't hand me over to them, kill me. An Xian, please kill me. Oh dear Lord Judge, I am just a commoner, how dare I kill you. An Xian put him down with a smile, and did so gently, fearing that he would fall to death if he fell too hard. After thinking about it, I was worried that these people wouldn't have a good time. Then his hands glowed red, healed Judgment 7's injuries, and sealed his star power. And in a place invisible to everyone, blue light appeared on his fingertips, maximizing his soul perception while ensuring that he would always remain awake. After finishing everything, An Xian kicked Judgment 7 into the crowd. Everyone, have fun. Nanan star. An Yu sat on the star, staring eagerly in the direction where An Xian left, twitching his nose from time to time. I remained in this position motionless for an unknown amount of time. At some point, she suddenly stood up and smelled a fragrance. A figure quickly approached her as she watched. Elder brother. From a distance, An Xian heard An Yu's call. Arriving on the star, An Yu pounced on An Xian. This was the longest time she and An Xian had been apart. I said I would come back, and I will definitely come back. It took a long time before Anu was willing to come down. Gurgle hearing the sound of her stomach rumbling, Anu didn't feel embarrassed, but just covered her stomach pitifully. Hungry. Here, it's high-end stuff from the Federation. It's delicious. Anu was full after eating less than half of the compressed high-energy meat patty. An Xian put on the bag and signaled Anu to carry the pumpkin. It's time to go. Good. When they got under the stars, many people were unable to return to normal due to the noise of the pumpkin firing missiles. Wang Gang and Li Huai are normal. An Xian and Anu came to the two of them. Gangzi, we need a driver. Pause. You can bring your wife. In an instant, Wang Gang was overjoyed. Although the missile problem has been solved, staying in Nanan means death. He is naturally willing to take Li Huai away. Thank you, little brother. From now on, my life belongs to you. Li Huai looked hesitant. Wang Gang squeezed her hand. She lowered her head, held Wang Gang's hand, and said nothing. My parents are dead, and among these people there are only 2 relatives I am not very familiar with, and some neighbors. She couldn't bring herself and Gang to stay here and wait for death for them. As the 4 of them walked out, a group of people gathered around, led by Li General Brother Gang. You seduced my cousin away. Now you are leaving with my cousin and not taking us with you. Isn't that inappropriate? We have been following you. Take us with you if you leave. Brother Gang, please talk to this guy and ask him to take us with him. He is so strong, it would be easy for him to take us with him. We can give him money. An Xian and Enya watched the show leisurely. Wang Gang stepped forward to clear the way. Get out of the way. I can't help you, and I have no obligation to help you. They didn't dare to offend An Xian, but they dared to offend Wang Gang and Li Huai. If they were allowed to leave, they would really die in Nanan. At this critical moment, without caring about face, Li Huai's aunt pulled her into the crowd. Huai, go and persuade them, otherwise we won't leave. Wang Gang's face darkened. Let go of Huai. Li Zhen stiffened his neck. That's my cousin. Either we go together, or you go your way and my cousin stays. For a moment, the situation was tense. Chapter 68. Aunt Li pulled Li Huai's arm. Several people stood silently in front of the 2 of them. They despised what Li Zhen and Aunt Li did. But not only did he fail to stop it, he became an accomplice. A very simple multiple-choice question. To live, or to save face? The answer is obvious, they chose the former. Huai, I'm your aunt. When you were a child, every new year, your aunt gave you lucky money and bought you toys. Seeing that Wang Gang refused to give in, Aunt Li played the emotional card with Li Huai. Can you bear to let your aunt and your cousin die here? Li Huai, who had been keeping her head down and silent, suddenly looked up and stared into Aunt Li's eyes. Aunt, I want to ask you something. Don't just say 1, 10, or even 100 will do. I want to ask, when we were in the neighborhood, that group of people were killing people everywhere, and my parents and I were asking for help in the corridor, why didn't you open the door? Aunt Li's face froze and her eyes avoided. Li Huai turned around and faced more people behind her. In Unit 7, my parents and I were chased by that group of people and were fleeing upwards. On the 2nd floor, my dad asked my mom and I to go first, but when we reached the 4th floor, they caught up with us, but my dad didn't. When we got to the 5th floor, my mother blocked a knife for me and fell down and never got up again. I fled to the 7th floor, to the top. If Brother Gang hadn't suddenly appeared, you should know what would have happened to me. So I want to ask, among the 28 households living in Unit 7, including you, why is it that no one is willing to open the door to save us? Li Huai's voice was very calm, as if she was speaking as an outsider about something that had nothing to do with her. I understand that people are afraid of death, and I also understand that you are afraid of being implicated and dare not open the door to save our family. But I don't understand, how can you have the nerve to let me be your lobbyist to save your lives now? Everyone fell silent. Wang Gang looked at Li Huai's back and felt very distressed. He wanted to bring Li Huai back. As soon as he started to move, Li Zhen, who had been keeping an eye on him, immediately grabbed his clothes. Unexpectedly, Wang Gang kicked him mercilessly. Li Zhen screamed and stepped back, holding his abdomen and curling up like a shrimp. Wang Gang didn't even look at him and pushed through the crowd. When he got closer, he found that Li Huai's hands were shaking and blood was dripping from between her fingers. Hui Hui! Wang Gang grabbed Li Huai's hand and pried open her fingers, freeing the nails that were embedded in her flesh. It's not worth getting angry with them. I'm here, and there's still a lot of time to come. Take her back. Several people subconsciously blocked the way. Wang Gang widened his eyes. Roll! Li Zhen shouted as they hesitated. No. If they leave, we will definitely die if we stay. The hesitation on their faces quickly disappeared, and they stood in a row, shoulder to shoulder. Seeing that Wang Gang and Li Huai were uncooperative, Li Zhen turned his attention to An Xian and An Yu. His eyes lingered between the two of them, and the scene of being almost killed by An Yu last night came to his mind. He felt relaxed and smiling, and seemed friendlier and easier to talk to. He glanced at the people around him. They understood and knelt down in front of An Xian at the same time. Please save us. Did you eat the melon yourself? An Xian didn't expect that he would have a role in this party, and his smile became even wider. Little Pinky, do you want to save them? An Yu smiled sweetly. I listened to my brother. He stroked his chin peacefully. Save you. Li Zhen, including everyone who heard the peaceful sound, pricked up their ears. They look forward to hearing a good answer. No, it's not impossible. Real. Thanks. I knew you were a good person. The young man is handsome and kind-hearted, unlike Huai, who has no regard for feelings at all. The cheers made Nanan Square as noisy as a vegetable market. The tip of the staff touched the ground, and a circle of star power spread outward, suppressing all sounds. I haven't finished talking yet, why are you in such a hurry? An Xian picked his ears, the noise was still as disgusting as ever. All eyes were on him. We are all adults, and we all understand that there is no free lunch. If I save you, what can you give me? Or, what can you use to buy your life? An Xian folded his hands and placed them on his cane, emitting an invisible aura. Even though they were standing on the same level, An Xian seemed to be much taller than them in terms of momentum. It is the oppression of the superior over the inferior, and it is also the instinctive fear of the weak in the face of the strong. They didn't even dare to look at An Xian directly. There was clearly a void behind the cracked sunglasses, but everyone seemed to feel as if they were being scrutinized. From body to soul, no secret is revealed. After a long time, An Xian felt regretful. I gave you a chance, but you are useless. It's rare that I feel kind-hearted and want to be a good person and do something good, but unfortunately they are too disappointing. With such strong power, he still watched someone die without helping. He is such a beast. In the silence, someone whispered resentfully. An Xian hasn't moved yet. An Yu's gentle gaze suddenly became fierce. With a cold murderous intent bursting out, she struggled to lift the pumpkin on her shoulder, sniffed lightly, and locked onto a young man in the crowd. If it's too low, raise it 5 centimeters. If his mouth stinks, use a bullet to clean it up. Good. The young man was locked in the grip of a gun he had never seen in his life, and fear of death surged in his heart. He regretted it so much that he wished he could travel through time and space and slap his mouth to pieces from half a minute ago. Let you talk dirty. The young man wanted to hide in the crowd, but how could the peacefulness allow him to do so? The star power condensed around him, fixing him firmly in place. Fixed target, can you hit it? Can. The pumpkin in gun form does not consume much energy. An Yu injects star power into it and shoots out an energy bullet. In the young man's horrified eyes, the bullet was accurately shot into his mouth which had not yet closed. Bang! With the voiceover by An Xian Gu Zy, the energy bomb exploded, and along with it, the young man's head also blew up. The splattered brain matter splashed all over the people around. In an instant, screams broke out one after another on the field. But soon, under An Yu's cold gaze, they all shut up. Whoever scolds my brother will die. Let's go, Gangzi will follow. An Xian walked with a cane, and An Yu followed him carrying a pumpkin. Wang Gang, holding Li Huai's hand, slammed into the human wall in front of him. Having been wandering around the wasteland as a garbage collector for many years, his physical fitness is much better than that of office workers living in the city. This move directly created a hole in the human wall. However, before he could squeeze out, Li Zhen quickly led his men to block the way. Stop them, come and stop them. An Xian and the others didn't dare to stop them, and even after Wang Gang was named by An Xian, he couldn't do anything. But Li Huai is different. Why should I die here while Li Huai can leave Nanan alive? Not fair. Since we can't leave, no one should leave. Wang Gang protected Li Huai, who looked anxious. Gangzi, go on. At this moment, accompanied by the sound of peace, a gun was thrown over. It was the rifle that Wang Gang brought from Nanan and placed in the car. Wang Gang's eyes lit up and he quickly grabbed the gun. Click, pull the bolt, load the gun. Get out. Get out of here. Whoever comes again, I'll beat him to death. Don't be afraid. He only has a gun. Bang. Wang Gang fired a shot into the air to scare them. Come on. Lao Zi only has one gun with 17 bullets left. Who wants to die first? Chapter 69. The crowd separated to allow Wang Gang and Li Huai to pass through. They don't want to experience the taste of bullets with their flesh and blood. Wang and Li left the crowd and walked further and further away. Some people around Li Zhen were unwilling to accept this. Genzi, didn't the Nanan army give us guns? It's not like Wang Gang is the only one with guns. Li Zhen slapped him hard. Didn't you see that guy shooting missiles with a big gun this morning? If you dare to have evil thoughts, the 6 people who died just now are a warning to you. MD. He paused and looked outside the square, just in time to see a little pink-haired girl getting on the bus. The image of the pink-haired loli shooting Lihuzi appeared in his mind, forcing him to swallow the curse words he wanted to say. What should I do? I can't just wait to die. Li Zhen's mind was racing. Get everyone in the cars. Follow them. Dozens of cars stepped on their accelerators and quickly chased in the direction where An Xian and others had left. In the car. When An Xian tried to tame An Zahog for the 1234th time, but failed. An Yu suddenly said, Brother, they are catching up with us. Caught up. An Xian listened carefully and indeed heard the roar of the engine. Soft and hard tactics are useless, so you're starting to cheat. Gangzi, stop the car. Good. The car stopped in the middle of the road. Behind us, the pursuing convoy stopped 100 meters away, neither coming forward nor leaving. Little pink hair. Receive. An Yu picked up the pumpkin, smashed the rear windshield, and stuck the gun out. In the back, in a car. Genzi, you still have a way. Li Zhen smiled proudly. We have no choice but to follow them. Hey, what the? Shit. Run. A pitch-black gun barrel came into view. Li Zhen got out of the car immediately and ran for his life towards the alleys on the street. An Yu placed the front end of the pumpkin on the back seat of the car and carried the end on his shoulder. He gripped the handle on the side of the gun with his left hand, continuously injected star power and mental power, and resolutely pulled the trigger. Pumpkin turns into Gatling gun. Fire burst out from the muzzle of the gun, and dense light bullets shot towards the vehicles in the front row at the rear. Boom! 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 3 loud bangs and 3 huge flames. The car in the front row at the rear exploded under the coverage of the light bomb. That's about it, Gangzi, let's go. An Xian held down An Yu, who was still reluctant to leave, and signaled Wang Gang to drive. The people behind just want to survive. It is enough to kill a chicken to scare the monkeys and persuade them to retreat. There is no need to kill them all. Of course, the prerequisite is that they can retreat when they see difficulty. Otherwise, just let the little pink-haired kid have fun. A winding stream of cars is heading towards Nanan. After Judgment 7 died, the star power he used to seal off Song Yanwen and the other 2 naturally dissipated. Song Yanwen resumed his action and immediately sent Li Gong to order the Nanan army to return to Nanan Star City. Star Lord, there's a car ahead. Another one coming. Song Yanwen stared intently and saw 2 cars coming from 2 different directions. Caution! Li Gong stepped on the brakes, and Yang Gai, who was resting with his eyes closed, opened his eyes, and the star power quietly condensed. The 2 cars were parked outside the windows on both sides, and no one got out. Getting off the bus means enduring radiation exposure, so if you have anything to say, just say it in the bus. Song Yanwen glanced left and right and it was obvious that there were 2 groups of people. Yingguang Council, Shenzhou, Zhenghu. Silent Night, Gang Hongwei, Xi Zan. Both parties spoke at the same time. After thinking about it for a moment, Song Yanwen understood what they were here for. As expected, both parties spoke at the same time again. I represent the Welcoming Light Council. I represent Silent Night. I have come to invite you 3 to join the Nanan army. *2 Song Yanwen responded with a polite smile. Even though he thought that everyone in Jie was an idiot, he still had to show proper courtesy. Sorry, I have something else to do here. Can you please leave me your contact information? I will contact you after I make a decision. Can. Looking forward to your reply. Both sides went their separate ways, cleanly and efficiently. With other forces present, it was obviously too much to ask Song Yanwen to make a decision on the spot. After they left, Li Gong asked, "Should we join them?" Yang Gai closed his eyes, looking calm and composed. "This is certain. With the loss of a trial team in Nannan, the Federation will definitely intensify its efforts to arrest us. Who knows who will come to arrest us next time? We are now having difficulty replenishing our military equipment and maintaining a normal food supply, so joining a powerful faction and receiving their protection is the best outcome." Song Yanwen raised the car window, signaled Li Gong to drive, and did not respond. If he had to choose a side, he would choose the Yingguang Parliament. Nannan's experience allowed him to empathize with the philosophy of the Yingguang Parliament. As for Ji Yat, he rolled his eyes and didn't feel anything at all. But at present, he has his own ideas as he has not to choose between the two. As the Star Master, he knew some inside information circulating among the top leaders. There seems to be a problem within the Yingguang Parliament. The problem is so serious that this huge organization may fall apart. Song Yanwen took out a simple federal map, which had nothing on it except the names of star cities. His eyes fell on a star city. There's been quite a bit of turmoil here lately. If they could take advantage of the chaos to get a piece of the pie, the Nannan army would be able to remain stable and there would be no need to join other forces. Evacuate the remaining people in Nannan, and then we'll go here. Li Gong glanced at him. Juju. Yes, Jureo Star City, which is known as the Federation's rice warehouse. City Wall. Young man, aren't you and your sister going with me? The car Wang Gang was driving had been replaced with the pickup truck that was thrown on the roadside when he came. This pickup truck, with its star paint, is qualified to cross the wilderness. Because the car model is quite old and has many scratches on the exterior, no one likes it and it has been parked here ever since. An Xian waved his hand and motioned him to go. All the valuables that Wang Gang looted in Nannan these days are kept at Li Huai's house. I have to take it with me now that I'm leaving. Then please wait a moment, I'll be back as soon as possible. Wang Gang stepped on the accelerator and drove Li Huai towards her home. An Xian took An Yu to climb up the city wall. After coming up, he found that there were 3 circles inside and 3 circles outside, forming a large group not far away. Among them is Judgment 7. This person was not dead yet. An Xian was shocked. You're pretty tough. He walked over and pushed the person at the outermost edge. Don't worry. Get in line. 1 shot per person, and. You are the one. He was stunned for a moment, then shouted excitedly. Benefactor, Benefactor is here. Wow. Everyone turned around and looked at An Xian. Together with An Yu, they attracted a lot of attention. She moved behind An Xian as if she was not used to it, leaving only a small part of her romantic turret exposed. Please don't block me, let me in. Quick! Quick! Everyone, stop blocking the way and let our benefactor in. An Xian always felt something was strange, but he couldn't figure out what was wrong. A passage opened up in front of them, leading directly to the place where Judgment 7 was located. An Xian and An Yu walked inside. Judgment 7 at this time was extremely miserable. There is almost no good meat on his body. Vulnerable parts such as the eyeballs and pee were filled with densely packed needles. An Xian looked reluctant. How cruel. Fortunately, you met a kind person like me. Red hand activated, quickly healing Judgment 7's body. Judge 7 noticed something and struggled like crazy. Get out! Get out! I'm almost dying. Chapter 70. On the city wall. Judgment 7 squirmed like a maggot. His facial expressions are extremely rich, and you can tell at a glance that he is not holding back his fart. Fortunately, An Xian had anticipated this and used his red hands to glue his upper and lower lips together. What we are guarding against is this BD, who doesn't know how to appreciate good intentions. I treated his injuries without asking for anything in return. In this impetuous and dark world, where can you find such a good person? After expressing his daily gratitude for his kindness, he kicked Judgment 7. Just looking at you makes me angry. An Xian blocked the existence of Judgment 7 in his omniscient vision, thinking, out of sight, out of mind. He showed a friendly and sunny smile to the people around him, as warm as a little Sunday. So, you guys continue. My benefactor. You are so kind. Thank you, benefactor. I was just worried that he would die before it was my turn. You are a great benefactor, and you have brought the dead back to health. An Xian laughed even more happily. Why weren't the Judgment 7 as sensible as these people? Buzz. Outside the city, dust was rising. A long convoy of cars drove towards Nanan. Someone recognized the convoy. It's the Nanan army. Didn't they abandon us and run away? The Star Lord and the Military Lord were also in there. Why are they back? I think there must be a misunderstanding. How could the Star Lord and his men give up on us? That's right. If they gave up, the Nanan army would have gone with the Federal Army long ago. As they were talking, the convoy arrived at the city. Li Gong volunteered to break open the locked city gate. Song Yanwen and Yang Gai both looked at him with strange eyes. Yeah, that's good. Keep going. It's just a city gate. I can break it with one punch. Li Gong arrived in front of the city gate, took a deep breath, and gathered strength in his right fist. The star power surged wildly and poured into the right arm. Muscle strength continues to increase and volume continues to expand. After 3 full minutes, my arm expanded like a balloon to 5 times its original size. Veins bulged on Li Gong's forehead, and he seemed to have reached his limit. Break it for me, boom. He gathered his strength and threw a punch, slamming it hard onto the city gate. The city gate made of special metal suddenly had a dent. That was all, the door was not broken. Li Gong was a little embarrassed. What should I do? 13 is half filled and the circle cannot be put back. How come this broken door is so hard? He was about to do it again when Song Yanwen and Yang Gai came over. Don't bother. It's more reliable to break through the city wall than to break open the city gate. Let's try it together. If it doesn't work, we can only destroy the city wall. The 3 of them stopped in front of the city gate. At this moment, cracks suddenly appeared in the city gate. Immediately afterwards, a deep red crescent burst out from the door. Through the gap, I saw behind the city gate, An Xian holding Hong Ji and swinging up again. Another equally powerful crimson crescent was slashed out. Li Gong's full strength attack, which took 3 minutes to accumulate, only caused a slight dent in the city gate, which now made a sound of being unable to bear the weight. An Xian put away the knife, stepped forward and kicked it. Click 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 under the horrified gazes of Song Yanwen, Li Gong, and Yang Gai, the cracks spread rapidly. This monster! Too strong! I'm afraid I can't even catch a single blow. The 3 of them were stunned. After a moment, the cracks spread to a certain extent and the city gate collapsed. Run! Song Yanwen reacted quickly, grabbed one person's collar with one hand and retreated quickly to avoid being hit. Sensing the wreckage of the city gate scattered all over the ground, An Xian shrugged and returned. After a while, he carried a pickup truck out of the city with one hand and put it down in an open space. Wang Gang in the driver's seat and Li Huai in the co-pilot seat were already sweating profusely. As soon as I came back from getting the things, I saw An Xian smashing the city gate with 2 clicks. Then without saying a word, he came over, grabbed the car and left. Who can bear this? Fortunately, the 2 of them are young and have good hearts. Otherwise at least one of them will be scared away. Little brother, you are so strong. Wang Gang's face turned pale and he stammered in praise. Not worth mentioning. Walk leisurely to the foot of the city wall and open your arms. Little pink hair. Here I come. A little pink-haired boy carrying a big gun jumped down from the towering city wall. Omniscient vision calculated the distance, An Xian jumped high and caught her in mid-air. Fun. After landing, An Yu's eyes were bright and he wanted to do it again. An Xian carried her towards the pickup truck. Let's go to other star cities to play. Good. An Yu got in the car and stood beside the car, facing Song Yanwen and the other 2, lost in thought. I'm not thinking about how to say goodbye. Instead, he was thinking about whether he should get one of their transport vehicles. After thinking about it for a while, I gave up the idea. The transport vehicle is of federal standard, and going to other star cities will inevitably involve some questioning and trouble. Just make do with this broken pickup truck for now. Watching An Xian get into the car, the pickup truck drove away. Song Yanwen and the other two were a little confused. No, you stood there facing us for a long time and then just left? Can't you just say goodbye and say something polite like see you again in the wilderness if we're destined to? The three of them organized a basket of polite words, but they were all stuck in their stomachs, feeling really uncomfortable. Where are you going, little brother? An Xian called out the system and confirmed it before speaking. Jirao Star City, do you know the way? Wang Gang didn't answer immediately, but thought about it in his mind. Jirao, he has been to this place, so if he has a map, it won't be a big problem. I know the way. Dad. My son called. Dad. My son called. An Xian took out his cell phone and answered it. Hello. Mr. An, I'm He Lang. The interstellar submarine is ready. Would it be convenient for you to come and receive it? Hey, this guy is picking me. I'm happy and at ease. All the things about receiving space submarines are just excuses. Are you so eager to kill He Chao? Mr. An has a keen eye, well, I mean he is as good as a god. I can't fool you. He Lang was still so frank and had no intention of quibbling. But the star submarine is indeed ready. You can use it at any time if you need it. Okay, I get it. Where is your home? He Lang was delighted. He was afraid that An Xian would forget about this, so he wanted to remind him. From what An Xian said, he really wants to come over. He quickly reported the name of the star city and its number. Hado Star City number, 517. An Xian put down his phone and asked Wang Gang. Hado Star City, have you ever been there? I've been there. It's the headquarters of the He family Chable. An Xian was considering whether to go for a trip. It's better to wait until you draw the check-in Star City, which is an underwater star city. When you need to use a submarine, you can kill He Chao. At this time, Wang Gang added. We will pass through Haiduo Star City when we go to Jirao. It just so happens that the star paint needs to be retouched. If you have something to do there, you can go there to retouch the star paint. Well, what else is there to say along the way? He Lang picked up the phone, having not received a response, and became impatient. Please prepare in advance. I will contact you when I arrive. After one sentence, the call was disconnected. He Lang on the other end was so excited when he heard that he couldn't control himself and smashed his phone. He Chao. Your death is coming. Time passed, about 10 minutes had passed. The pickup truck drove past a large metal tablet with the words Nanan Star City number, 461 engraved on it. At this point, the boundary of Nanan Star City has been calculated. At the same time, a voice sounded in An Xian's mind, saying that Xingqian's farewell gift had arrived. Dog system, you must enter the city wall to check in, and you must pass the boundary marker when you leave, right? I thought to myself, and at the same time, I became curious. The weapon rewards, besides the romantic turret, are the Zanpakut.Beiji. These two are different, Benihime has Shikai and Bangkai. The romantic fortress appears in its complete form, so what will be the farewell gift? Ding! It is detected that the host has left the Nanan Star City area, and a farewell gift is given. Chapter 71. Ding! It is detected that the host has left the range of Nanan Star City. A farewell gift is given, item simulation *3. An Xian slowly typed a question mark. Object anthropomorphism? What is it? Tongzi, tell me more. Object simulation, use it on any object, including but not limited to weapons, armor, and vehicles, to change the original form of the object. Inject star power to stimulate it to remove the simulation and restore it to its original state. Note, each item can only have one simulated form and cannot be simulated repeatedly. An Xian roughly understood what was going on, but he still had a question. Is simulation a one-time thing? It will become ineffective once the item returns to its original form. The simulated form is permanently effective and can be switched to the simulated form through mental power supplemented by star power. That's fine. An Xian was satisfied with the farewell gift from Nanan Star City. In each star city, the reward for reaching 100% of the check-in progress is the biggest reward, and the farewell gift is just an additional bonus. He thought that this time, the system would just give him some useless trick. I didn't expect to pull out something real. I am judging a villain with the heart of a gentleman. Using the heart of a villain to judge a gentleman. An Xian denied it immediately. I'm right. 3 times of object simulation cannot cover up your behavior of giving me a blind man and 5 times of pupil magic. An Xian plans to try object simulation and already has a goal. Little pink hair. Hold head high. Do you prefer a bracelet or a necklace? In 5 days, we will enter the Hado Star City. Nanan and Hado are both in the northern border of the Federation, but they are not close to each other. Between the two, there are several fallen star cities. These star cities, which have been occupied for who knows how long, have long since become the world of star beasts and mutants. No one knows what level of terrifying existence is inside. Even An Xian doesn't dare to go in rashly. Along the way, in order to avoid these places, the time spent on detours was at least 1 kunshan. After passing the boundary marker, we received the home field rights as usual. Brother, why is there someone living outside the city? While queuing to enter the city, An Yu pointed to the refugee gathering place built around the city wall not far away and asked. On that slender and white wrist, a metal bracelet is full of technology, extremely delicate and beautiful. It has a metallic primary color as the base, with fine light pink outlines on it, which matches An Yu inexplicably. They have been too deeply corroded by radiation, and the pollution level exceeds the standard. There is a risk of them becoming mutants, so they are forbidden to enter the city. An Yu leaned against the car window, looked over there, and summarized An Xian's words. Unable to enter the city, becoming a refugee, there is a possibility of becoming a deformed species. Then why not kill them all? Crunch! Wang Gang slammed on the brakes, and Li Huai, who rarely spoke, closed her mouth even more tightly. The two of them didn't even dare to glance at the pink-haired lowly in the rear-view mirror, who spoke cruel words in an innocent and doubtful child's voice that would make even Satan stay away. Indeed, in theory they are all potential dangers. An Xian nodded in agreement. The omniscience can reach the edge of the gathering place. Most of the refugees he saw were just chatting and doing nothing. Not being able to enter the city means not being able to buy daily necessities, and even if someone comes to sell them, you don't have the money to buy them. If they want to survive, they can only hope to discharge garbage into the city every day and then become real garbage men. An Xian continued. Besides, it would be a shame to leave so many high-quality workers unused. The factory should be built outside the city, with 1 meal a day for all of them to work, without any salary. Brother is so smart. Wang Gang and Li Huai were so weak, pitiful, and helpless that they dared not say a word. They have a deeper understanding of if you are not from the same family, you should not enter the same door. The two looked at each other and saw relief in each other's eyes. Fortunately, this person was sentimental and treated his own people well, otherwise he would have been sent to Nanan. Even if they later learned about the Nanan army and returned to Nanan to organize the evacuation of citizens, it would be of no avail. There were 10,000 Nanan troops, 1,000 star paint transport vehicles, and at least hundreds of thousands of people in the city who had not evacuated. The ratio is very different. 1/3 of the people can be sent away before being eaten by the mutants. This is considered a blessing from Nanan Star. The vehicle moved slowly forward. At the city gate, the inspectors signaled Wang Gang and others to take out their identification documents and cooperate with the pollution level testing. Wang Gang stuffed 2 bills into the 3 documents and handed them to the examiner. Sir, the child's documents were lost and we haven't had time to reissue them. Please be flexible. The examiner skillfully took out the bill and put it into his pocket without making a sound. He glanced at the ID and asked the people around him to come forward. The man poked the 4 people's fingertips and began to detect the pollution level. 4.31%, 0.01%, 0.02%, 0.01%. Yo, 3.0. The examiner said casually, returning their documents. Hurry up and go into the city to get your documents reissued, otherwise she will only stay in the city for 3 days at most. Okay. When Wang Gang returned his safe documents, he looked envious. Brother, your pollution level is so low, just like the first time they left the city, you did a great job of protection. An Xian smiled without saying anything. It would be a miracle if my brand new body could detect high levels of pollution. After entering the city, the 4 separated. Wang Gang and Li Huai went to refuel the car, cash in the belongings they brought from Nanan, and also recoat the pickup truck with star paint. An Xian dialed He Lang's number. I am at ease. Mr. An, you're here. I just entered the city through the west gate. How did you arrange it? Please wait a moment, I'll send. No, I'll pick you up right away. After hanging up the phone, he took An Yu to buy some clothes and went to a nearby hotel to take a shower. An Yu finished washing up first. "Brother, can you give me some money? I'll buy you some food." An Xian took the money and joked. "Buy me some food, won't you eat it?" "Eat?" The crisp voice was fast and loud. "We ate meat patties every day along the way. It's not so bad that I can't bear to eat it all the time." An Xian casually took out some money and gave it to her. "Go ahead." "Thank you, brother." An Yu took the money and walked away happily. After leaving the hotel, she suddenly felt confused. When he woke up, he found himself in the occupied Nannan. He felt extremely unfamiliar with the peaceful and orderly environment of Heituo Star City. However, she didn't expect that she was being stared at while she was in a daze. Street corner. "Second brother, look, there's a girl over there, she's definitely top-notch." The man called the second brother looked in the direction the third brother pointed. "I saw the entrance of a small hotel. There is a beautiful girl with pink hair, as delicate as a porcelain doll." She held a few banknotes in her hand, not knowing what she was thinking. His eyes flashed. "You are really good, third brother. You have such sharp eyes. Hey, that's a must. This kind of high-quality goods can replace our sales for 2 months, so the commission is definitely not small." The second brother started off excitedly, motioning the third brother to follow. "You don't look good, stop talking, let me do it." Chapter 72. "Little sister, what are you doing here?" The second brother was dressed in a suit and gold-plated glasses, and he really looked like a successful man. "Can't you find your parents?" An Yu came back to his senses, raised the money and shook it, and the metal bracelet on his wrist collided, making a crisp sound. "I'm going to buy food." "Buy food?" The second brother quickly changed the topic. "Uncle, I know a restaurant with delicious food. Do you want me to take you there?" "Good. Agree so readily?" The second brother was stunned for a moment, then his smile grew. "Then you follow me." Having said that, he stepped forward. The third one fell to the back in case An Yu reacted and ran away, so that he could catch her at the first moment. Soon, the three disappeared at the entrance of the hotel. Walking through the alleys without surveillance, based on the principle of using force instead of deceiving, the second brother talked as they walked in order to calm An Yu down. "That shop is a century-old brand, passed down through the 6th generation. You must try it when you come to Heidosing City, otherwise it would be a wasted trip." "Really?" "Certainly." Seeing that An Yu did not refute, the second brother felt relieved. It seems that he is not from Heidosing City. Outsiders are better and it is much less troublesome than trafficking local people. Walked a little further. An Yu gradually realized that something was wrong. She had never interacted with anyone, and no one taught her on purpose. With freedom, all you probably learn is how to kill people with a knife, shoot people in the head with a gun, and shoot at cars. But her naivety does not mean she is not smart. An Yu circulated his star power and took a sniff. "Stinky. Uncle, haven't you arrived yet?" "It's almost there, just ahead." The second brother turned another corner and went into the building. An Yu followed silently, and the third brother followed behind. The three of them walked into a room on the second floor, one after the other. As soon as he entered, the third brother immediately closed the door. There were 7 people in the room at this time. The 3 of them sat on the sofa playing cards. 4 remained, locked in metal frames in the corners. "You two are really good at catching such a beautiful doll. It's just shit luck. I can get 30,000 yuan as commission this time." When the 3 of them saw An Yu, they surrounded him with sour tones. The third brother looked up with pride. "My second brother and I are here, so we have to get some high-end stuff, right?" The second brother was not as arrogant as him. Instead, he turned around and looked at An Yu who had a calm expression. "Something is wrong. Something is very wrong. Aren't you afraid?" He had a bad feeling. The little girl was too calm. There was no sign of him crying and wanting to go back after being cheated. "Why should you be afraid?" An Yu tilted her head to look at him, her aho hair swaying slightly. Suddenly, a sweet smile bloomed on the delicate face, but the smile did not reach the bottom of those light pink eyes. Mobilizing the star power, the light pink lines on the bracelet on the right wrist glowed. The next moment, the bracelet suddenly exploded and then reassembled in an instant. It is the object of An Xian's attempt to simulate objects, and it is a romantic turret pumpkin cannon that is transformed into a bracelet. An Yu carries a pumpkin on his shoulder. You are the ones who should be afraid. I went to buy a meal, and you haven't come back yet. After taking a shower, An Xian didn't see An Yu coming back. The omniscient vision scanned the surroundings but did not find An Yu. You are unfamiliar with the place. Where did you go? I simply wiped my hair, changed into clean clothes and went downstairs. Sitting at the front desk of the small hotel was a middle-aged woman in her 40s or 50s. Hello, please tell me, I saw. Da-da-da. The sound of dense and intense gunfire rang out from a distance and reached An Xian's ears. He smiled politely. Don't bother. The moment An Yu took out the pumpkin, the second brother, who was quick-witted, rushed to the window without hesitation and escaped by jumping out. The remaining few people were a bit slow to react, and were beaten into pools of rotten meat by pumpkin's gunfire. An Yu glanced at the iron frame, and the 4 people in the frame immediately hugged each other in fear. I have to learn from my brother and do more good deeds. With a mutter, he fired a shot at the keyhole of the iron frame. Then he picked up the pumpkin and chased after his second brother. The second brother escaped for his life. I was wrong. This kid is a star warrior. And what the hell is going on with that gun? He racked his brains but couldn't figure it out. I've also never heard of any star warrior who can transform a gun out of thin air. Here, close to the city wall, the gunshots alarmed the defenders. The second brother rushed out of the alley and saw the guards coming. Help me! Help me! When a human trafficker asks for help from the defenders, it means that he is indeed in a desperate situation. The second brother rushed towards the defenders as if he had seen his real parents. Someone is killing people with a gun, hurry up! Bang! Blood bloomed from the back of the head. Due to inertia, his body rushed to the front of the defenders before falling. How dare you! Kill someone in front of him! Feeling provoked, the defenders were furious. They loaded their guns, aimed at and killed the second brother with a light bullet that flew out of the alley. Under several gunshots, a petite figure appeared, dragging a big gun and with blood on her body. Put down the gun. Killing people in the street is lawless. I command you to surrender. Come with me to the Public Security Bureau. They did not let their guard down just because An Yu was a child. Several people formed a semicircle and gradually approached An Yu. An Yu blinked, looking very confused. Break the law? Why break the law? She can kill people at will in Nanan, and no one will say she is breaking the law. But it is impossible to put down the gun. Not only did he not let go, he lifted it up instead. An Yu's idea is very simple. Anyone who points a gun at himself or his brother will be killed. The defenders saw that An Yu dared to resist. Perhaps the pumpkin was too intimidating, so they stopped and did not move forward. Don't shoot. Calm down. You are still young, don't make the same mistake over and over again. It is human nature to watch the fun. However, because both sides were holding guns, they were far away. The only exception was the boy with a cane. Under the gaze of everyone, he walked slowly. Little Pinky, what are you doing? Elder brother. An Yu found his backbone, and his slightly panicked heart instantly stabilized. She cheered and ran towards An Xian, dragging Pumpkin with her. Stop! The E stopped her. An Yu stopped 1 meter away from him, looking at An Xian blankly, his smile disappeared, and he felt a little at a loss. At this moment, a car came from the corner. The car stopped, and He Lang, who had someone find out the safe location in advance, got out quickly and ran over. Mr. An. An Xian frowned and ignored him. He Lang was not angry and asked the defenders to put down their guns. Heiduo Star City is the headquarters of the He family Chaebol. Having operated here for many years, it can be said that it is the uncrowned king of Heiduo. He Lang is a member of the He family, even if he is an unpopular branch. The defenders would not disobey his words. Come over with the garrison. He planned to take this opportunity to do An Xian a favor. Isn't it just a few people shot and killed in the city? Is it a big deal for the He family? It can be suppressed easily. Seeing An Xian's serious expression, He Lang thought he was going to teach the child a lesson, so he did not say anything to stop him. He should be taught a lesson, too. He could help solve the problem in Hado, but what if he went somewhere else? Hado did not fall, not Nangan. In Star City, you must abide by federal laws. Unexpectedly, at this moment, An Xian spoke solemnly, shocking him. You killed someone with a gun, and you're still going to get covered in blood? You just washed it, and you have to wash it again. Chapter 73. An expensive villa in the city center. The subordinate sent a video to He Chao. He Chao, who had just finished exercising and put on his shorts, gestured to the woman next to him to light a cigarette for him. Hold the cigarette and click to play the video. He Chao was stunned after taking a look, until the cigarette in his hand fell to his chest and burned him, and then he came to his senses. An Xian. Why is he here? He Chao thought for a moment with a gloomy face, then quickly stood up and put on his clothes. Seeing this, the woman delicately pressed herself against He Chao's deformed right arm. Mr. He, you. Roll. He Chao waved his hand and knocked the woman away, causing her to spit out blood. She didn't dare to get angry, and she didn't dare to offend He Chao again, so she just lay on the ground and pretended to be dead. He Chao ignored her, put on his clothes and left quickly. Although I don't know what An Xian is doing in Hado, I'm still nervous. Just in case, I'll go back to my ancestral home and hide for a few days. The main street inside the western city wall. An Xian constantly imparts experience on what to do when killing someone so as to avoid being covered in blood. The pink-haired little girl at the side had her eyes lit up and she wanted to take out a little notebook to write it down. He Lang looked at this scene, full of questions. What good person would teach their children like this? He did not dare to interrupt the piece, but the defenders did. The leading defender asked the others to disperse the crowd. Then he stepped forward, trying to make his presence felt in front of He Lang. If He Lang could remember it, he would be able to move up at least. Sir, your sister killed someone in the street, which has a very bad impact. Even if we don't punish her, if someone takes a picture of her and posts it on Starnet, and the people from the public security department see it, it will be recorded in her identity file. The defenders interrupted the piece. He stopped talking, still wanting more. However, after hearing the identity file, he said to He Lang, the pink-haired girl has no identity, so you can get her one, is that okay? He Lang asked. You mean, she lost her ID? An Xian shook her head. She had no ID at all, and with Nanan fallen, there was no way to check. No, it means literally, no identity. Defenders? Killing people in the street, or being an illegal resident? He Lang understood, and first gave the defender a look, telling him to get lost, and then cried. No problem, just leave it to me. ASAP. He Chao estimated the time. Give it to you before noon tomorrow. Hado Shin. Shining Star Group, Shining Star Hotel in Star City, Hado. In a private room, An Xian and Enyu had their fill. He Lang, who was eating with him, put down his chopsticks. Mr. An, let's go for a massage next. He winked at An Xian and gave her an expression that every man could understand. Enyu was unhappy when he heard that he was not mentioned. I want to go too. He Lang's face froze and he didn't dare to respond. Take Enyu with you? Do you think your life is too long? Clean the oil stains on your lips easily. If you teach the little pink-haired girl bad things, I'll crush you to death. Yes, yes. I didn't think it through. Sorry. He Lang bowed his head and admitted his mistake, while complaining in his heart. You, a person who teaches children in the street how to kill people without getting blood on themselves, actually say that I will teach them bad things? Outrageous. Extremely outrageous. Then let's go to the regular one. An Xian waved his hand. Forget it, quickly call He Chao out and kill him and be done with it. If it were in Jirao, this matter would be handled slowly and there would be no rush. But Hado wasn't checking in at Star City, so he didn't want to stay here for too long. He Lang felt a little ashamed. During this period, He Chao didn't see me at all. I just received news that he returned to his ancestral home. So what you mean is that you can't figure it out? He Lang was too embarrassed to speak, and An Xian raised his eyebrows slightly. What? Are you expecting me to rush into your He family's ancestral home and kill him? The strongest member of the He family is an A-level star warrior, who poses no threat to An Xian. It is not impossible to rush into the He family's ancestral home and kill He Chao. The problem is, if you really do this, the next day the city gates will have to be covered with a photo of An Xian, the kind with a number underneath. This is not as simple as offending the Federation, but jumping on the Federation's face, swinging its arms, and slapping it in the face. The effort is not proportional to the reward. It's not worth doing this for a He Chao. An Xian never got a response and became a little impatient. Can you get him out and make a sound? If not, I'll leave. I'll wait for him to come out someday. It will be the same if I kill him if I see him. No. No. I'll think of a way. He Lang was very anxious. Once An Xian left, who knew when he would come next time? Let me think about it. He Lang tapped his forehead lightly and paced back and forth. An Xian and Enyu, both of them disregarded their image and collapsed in their chairs, almost falling asleep. Got it. The two woke up in shock. He Lang clapped his hands, thinking of a message he had accidentally heard when he went to He Chao's house. I have a way to lure him out. Midnight. An abandoned factory in the south of the city is brightly lit. Vans loaded with people drove in, and soon left empty. After an unknown amount of time, no more vans came in. He Lang and the people from the Public Security Bureau stood guard outside without moving. After waiting for a while, a large truck entered the factory. He Lang knew the time had come. Get started. Bai Ting, who is beside him, is the captain of the Criminal Investigation Brigade of the Public Security Bureau and also his childhood sweetheart. Have you thought it through? He Lang's eyes were fierce. My mother is still waiting for him downstairs. He Chao must die. After saying this, his eyes softened a little. Ting Ting, why don't you just leave? If anything goes wrong, I'll say that I used your name to trick your subordinates out. Bai Ting, am not so timid. I will have a share in avenging my aunt. Bai Ting rolled her eyes and waved her hand. Action! Dozens of armed security personnel surrounded the factory. They did not conceal their actions, and people inside the factory soon found out. Quick! Lock the door. Get your guns ready, and beat anyone who comes in. The person in charge looked down and saw dozens of people with their hands and feet tied and their mouths sealed, then called He Chao. Boss He, the police have surrounded the factory. On the other end of the phone, He Chao, who was woken up from his sleep, felt as if he was poured with a basin of ice water and woke up instantly. Competing with other heirs for the position of head of the He family chaebol is an internal competition. Everyone is allowed to use their own means and are not allowed to use the family's money. But without money, nothing can be done. This human trafficking business is his money bag. MD, hold on. I'll be there soon. After hanging up the phone, he quickly got dressed. Suddenly I thought, maybe someone is trying to lure me out. But he quickly dismissed this idea. Who was he? The third heir to the He family chaebol. Heiduo Star City is the He family's base camp. Who dares to attack them? The only thing he could think of was An Xian, but An Xian couldn't possibly know where it was. After getting dressed, he drove at full speed and arrived near the factory in less than half an hour. However, at this moment, a person he never expected in his dreams stopped in front of the car. He Lang? Why are you here? You guess. He Lang sneered and put his arm around Bai Ting's waist. He Chao understood when he saw the Public Security Bureau uniform on Bai Ting. You are really crazy. You dare to attack my place. After getting out of the car, he tore off the wide sleeve covering his right arm, revealing his ferocious arm. It seems that you miss your mother too much. In that case, I will take you to see her. He Lang patted Bai Ting gently. You go first. Be obedient, I'll be fine, go now. Bai Ting bit her lip, stomped her feet, turned around and ran towards the factory. After seeing her leave, He Lang smiled with relief. He Chao sneered. Do you think she can get away? If I kill you, I will take her to the gathering place and let the refugees take turns to take care of her 24 hours a day. He Chao, do you think that I can lure you out without any confidence? Oh, just you. What if there's someone else? In Heiduo Star City, besides An? No, could it be that you? Congratulations on the correct answer, but unfortunately there is no prize. He Lang smiled and said loudly. Mr. An, there's no one else here, please come out. I admit my mistake. There will definitely be no lag tomorrow. Chapter 74. Outside the abandoned factory, there was complete silence. He Chao's expression changed slightly. He was alert to his surroundings while moving towards the car behind. It only took a few steps and half a minute to get there. He put his hand on the car door, feeling something was wrong. How could An Xian be involved with He Lang? Besides, An Xian hasn't been seen for the past half minute. He Chao had some guesses in his mind. He Lang is cheating. He wanted to scare himself away so that he could destroy the abandoned factory in one fell swoop. An Xian isn't here at all, right? He Chao's hand left the car door and his frown relaxed. He may died at the hands of An Xian. You can't possibly cooperate with him. He Lang looked at him, his strange expression containing sarcasm. As long as he can kill He Chao, he doesn't care who he cooperates with. It is like two armies facing each other. A traitor who betrays his subordinates is far more hateful than the enemy. How about you look back? Oh, you still want to play tricks? I want to see if you have, rest assured. He Chao's head turned backward and froze, and his disdainful tone suddenly turned into fear. In the driver's seat of the car, there was a young man wearing sunglasses, smiling and waving out through the windshield. A warm smile is like a spring breeze. Those who don't know would definitely think that he and He Chao are old friends who haven't seen each other for many years and meet again today. On the other hand, He Chao ran away without saying a word. I didn't feel the spring breeze on my face, but I definitely felt the knife scraping my head. Or the kind of scraping that would pry open the top of someone's head if there was a disagreement. Why didn't He Chao open the car door just now? I was planning to give him a cool chill as a gift once the door was opened. I got off the bus with a little regret. He Lang walked over quickly with his brows lowered. Mr. An, look at He Chao. No hurry, let him run 100 meters first. An Xian drew his sword and, through his omniscient vision, locked onto He Chao who had already fled 100 meters away. If I say I'll give you a chill, I'll give you a chill. Under the night sky, a bright red flashed. Hong Ji, who was thrown out like a javelin by An Xian, shot towards the back of He Chao at the speed of light. Go get my knife. Hey! He Chao! Be careful! An old figure came over, it was He Zhou. Late at night, he noticed He Chao went out, and followed him out of concern. Sure enough, something bad was going to happen. He Zhou didn't dare to take Hong Ji head on, so he swung out his palm and pushed He Chao down. It was this palm that saved He Chao's life. Hong Ji, who rushed out violently, only tore his left arm. An Xian's smile faded. This old man only remembers eating and not being beaten. What was his name? He Lang respects Kide. Congratulations. Never mind. It's not important. An Xian walked past He Lang. Today I will reward you by killing He Chao and giving you Lao Deng as a reward. Thank you, Mr. An. He Lang lowered his head even lower, not daring to obstruct, nor wanting to obstruct. He Zhou is from the Taihekao faction. It would be best if we could kill him. Otherwise, if He Zhou finds any clues later, he will be the one to die. Run away. He Zhou grabbed He Chao and fled, but 3 punches from the Nanan city wall nearly took his life. After returning to the He family, it cost a huge price to recover. At this moment, he didn't even dare to think about having any contact with An Xian. He Chao looked in the direction and reminded hurriedly. Grandpa Zhou, he ran the other way. No. He Zhou's cloudy eyes turned and stared at the abandoned factory hundreds of meters away. Because He Chao's business was shameful and the factory was located in an extremely remote area, it was unrealistic to escape to a place where people were in a short period of time. The only chance is the abandoned factory where gunshots are heard. Escape. He won't dare to touch us unless he kills everyone inside. That's a good idea, but unfortunately, you don't have a chance. A demonic whisper from hell floated into their ears. He Chao and He Zhou were both terrified. An Xian flashed to He's left, raised the wooden handle of his cane high, and smashed it down. Bang! The star power wrapped around the wooden stick and fell onto He Zhou's back, breaking his spine. Ugh! He Zhou fell to the ground wailing. He Chao in his hand fell, rolled twice, and hit his head on a protruding sharp stone, and blood immediately gushed out. An Xian walked slowly to He Zhou's side and raised the wooden stick again. Swish! The sound of breaking through the air was piercing. This blow broke He Zhou's legs. Step on the broken part leisurely and roll it over inch by inch. To prevent the old dog from barking, don't forget to destroy his vocal cords. Old Deng, you didn't remember the lesson from last time, right? He Zhou's leg bones were shattered into pieces. The indescribable pain almost made him faint. However, under the deliberate stimulation of peace, not only did he not pass out, but he felt the pain more clearly. His leg bones were completely shattered, and even his flesh turned to mud. An Xian shifted his target, starting from his tailbone. I didn't kill you last time because I was giving face to the Federation. If you dare to come this time, you are not taking me seriously. Hizou was in a daze. Apart from pain, he had no other feeling. When a vertebra is completely crushed, more air is exhaled than inhaled. An Xian was surprised. It's not dead yet? It has a strong vitality. He suddenly smiled and said to He Chao, who was curled up and trembling beside him. Old He, for the sake of our friendship, I'll give you a chance to live. Really, really? He Chao's eyes lit up, and all his fear disappeared in an instant. Of course it's true. An Xian smiled brightly and handed over the blood-stained wooden stick. Come on, I'll give you the last one. If you kill him, I won't kill you. He Chao was stunned, a look of ecstasy frozen on his face. Don't want to? Opportunities are rare and will never come back again. If you miss this opportunity, you will never have it again. An Xian persuaded gently. Look at him. He's not going to survive anyway. Why not squeeze out his surplus value and save you once? It's a good deal. Time passed by second, and 2.5 minutes later. When An Xian was about to withdraw his hand, He Chao suddenly grabbed the wooden stick. You keep your word. Of course, I am at ease and always keep my word. He Chao stood up trembling, raised the wooden stick towards Hizou's head, then closed his eyes and smashed it down madly like raindrops. Hizou breathed his last in despair and heartbreak. Mr. An, your knife. He Lang picked it up and handed it to Hong Ji, glanced at He Chao, and let him go without any worry. Those who are involved are often confused, while those who are not involved can see things more clearly. At this point, can He Chao really survive? I'm afraid He Chao himself knows the answer. But there was no way, this was his only lifeline. 1 minute later. He Chao, who had smashed the thing countless times, stopped. He felt completely drained of energy and sat slumped on the ground. Bang bang bang. Applause at ease. What a beast to kill with your own hands, the man who saved you twice. He Chao didn't care about being called a beast. He was like a gambler who had lost all his money, betting all in and waiting for the cards to be dealt, and he gave An Xian a flattering smile. Mr. An, you said that if you kill him, you will spare my life. Look at you. I said I keep my word. An Xian took Hong Ji from He Lang and slapped him in the face with the blade in dissatisfaction, seeming to be very unhappy about being questioned. Yes, yes. I shouldn't. Puff. Hong Ji sank into his heart. Before death came, He Chao heard the last words. Everything has its own order. I said I would give you a chill first, and I have to keep my word. Chapter 75. The next day at noon. A brand new identity document was delivered to An Xian. An Yu's appearance, An Yu's name, and age 12 years younger than An Xian. Excluding gender, everything else is basically the same as An Xian. Mr. An, do you want to take the Star Submarine? Having avenged his great hatred, He Lang looked haggard today. As for why this happened, Bai Ting knew more. To sum it up in 2 words, revenge was achieved and the battle lasted all night. An Xian handed the certificate to An Yu, who was waiting anxiously beside him. After failing to tame Ahomaru again, he said. I won't be using it for now, so I'll leave it here for now. Okay, if you need anything, feel free to contact me. A word of caution. I hope you won't default on your debt when the time comes. The scenes of death of He Chao and Hizou appeared before his eyes, and He Lang stood up straight immediately. Don't worry. Absolutely not. That's good. After letting He Lang leave, contact Wang Gang. Gangzi, are you done over there? Brother, everything else is done, but applying the star paint to the car is a delicate job. It will take at least 3 days. 3 days? That's too long. An Xian was just about to ask Wang Gang to get rid of the car, and he would ask He Lang for a star-painted car. Suddenly I remembered that Hado is not Nanan, and there are trains running here. It was much more convenient for him and An Yu to go to Jirao by train. It is faster than driving yourself and more comfortable to sit in than a pickup truck. There is absolutely no need to take Wang Gang and Li Huai, 2 burdens, on the road. From now on, you and your wife can do whatever you want. You don't have to follow me. On the other end, Wang Gang listened to the dead tone in the receiver, feeling a little confused. I'm being thrown away now. Li Huai crawled out from under the quilt. Brother Gang, does the young man need anything from you? The young man said we don't need to follow him. Ah! Li Huai was startled for a moment, then quickly realized, maybe he won't need a driver when he gets to Hado. Wang Gang nodded in agreement and sent a message to An Xian. Wang Gang, brother, whenever you need a driver, let me know. I'm always on standby. He's ancestral home. Old 5 is dead. No. It was Grandpa Zhou and brother He Chao who died together. He Minged, the head of the He family, is also the only A-level star warrior of the He family. He was stunned for a moment, then he shouted angrily with his eyebrows raised. Get out! Okay. The young man opposite him was indeed lying on the ground and rolling outward. He Minged became even angrier, but had no place to vent his anger. The young man was his grandson, named He Si. This child is good in every way except that he has some problems with his brain. It is also because of this that He Si, as the grandson of He Minged, is not among the heirs of the He family. Come back, walk. Good. He Si obediently stood up and walked in front of He Minged. Was it An Xian who killed him? 9 times out of 10, He Lang and a female police inspector are also involved. He Minged pretended not to hear the second half of the sentence. He Lang and Bai Ting destroyed a large-scale human trafficking organization, and it is currently in the limelight. They will deal with it after the storm has passed. Where are the idle people? Leave, train 11 minutes ago. He Minged remained silent. Duo Star City was the He family's base camp. It is not difficult to find out if one of your family members was killed in the city, but the difficulty lies in the lack of evidence. If it were an ordinary person, he would just guess his identity and take action directly, but An Xian is not an ordinary person. Be it strength, the status of a free man, or the ability to enlighten a star warrior, none of them can be changed by he. There were 4 people who entered the city with An Xian. An Xian and a child left, and there are still 2 people in the city. He Si suddenly spoke, paused, and added. Ordinary people. He Minged glanced at him. What can ordinary people do? What if they have a good relationship with An Xian? If they are arrested, the Federation will not care even if An Xian comes to their door. We can't catch them, but the Federation can. Ding! The host has been detected entering Jireo Star City, and the check-in progress bar is activated. 1% of the check-in progress will be rewarded with a special gift. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Jireo Star City home field rights. In a star city that has not fallen, the system prompt sound will sound immediately when passing the boundary marker. Half an hour later, the train arrived at the station. After getting off the bus and completing the routine pollution level test, An Xian and Enyu left the station. Smells so good. Standing at the entrance, Enyu sniffed with surprise. An Xian knew that Enyu did not use his ability because he also smelled the fragrance. It is the fragrance of rice that has blended into the air and permeated the city. Jireo, the Federal Rice Warehouse, is a very special star city. There are no star mines under the Jireo star, and all the blessings of the star have flowed into the land. The land here, under the blessing of Jireo star, is particularly suitable for growing rice. The entire star city is divided into 9 areas from the 1st to the 9th according to the energy contained in the land. Therefore, the rice produced in each field is also divided in the same way. The best you can buy on the market is 5 grams of rice. Any higher would be a special supply for high-ranking officials and nobles. In order not to occupy the inner land of Shangro, the train station was built under the city wall. As you leave the train station, you can instantly feel that this star city is different from other star cities. Looking around, apart from the necessary mechanical farm tools, there are almost no modern facilities to be seen. The rice fields are divided in an orderly manner, and many farmers are working in the fields. He took Enyu by the hand and walked towards the city with a cane. After walking for a while, An Xian discovered something interesting. Stop by a field. There was only one person in this field. He was lying on a rocking chair with a straw hat covering his face. His leisurely look was in stark contrast to the busyness of others. Hello. I greeted An Xian, but got no response. If I hadn't known from the omniscient world that the middle-aged man's eyes were open, I would have thought he was asleep. Hello, uncle. I greeted him again and waited about 10 seconds, but still got no response. An Xian pursed his lips and smiled, are you pretending? Little pink hair. Enyu removed the pumpkin simulation, picked up the big gun, and aimed it at the man's head under the straw hat. Brother is talking to you. Ahaha! At this moment, the man suddenly woke up yawning. He inadvertently avoided the muzzle of the gun, took off his straw hat and saw An Xian and the other two, with a surprised expression on his face. When did you get here? I just fell asleep. Sorry. You seem to like sleeping. Why don't you consider sleeping a little longer, closing your eyes and opening them again, and then going to the next life? Provide advice in a calm, thoughtful and friendly manner. No, no need. The man chuckled, knowing he had been seen through. Little brother, it's not that I don't care about you, it's just that the landlord doesn't allow us to talk to outsiders. If we do, he will deduct our food. Landlord. Listen, what an ancient name this is. Is this your first time in Jirao? Right. Didn't you understand this before you came? No. Then why did you come to Jirao? An Xian said as a matter of course, eat rice. I have never eaten Jirao rice in my life. I want to try it. An Yu put away the pumpkin and nodded his little head quickly. The rice aroma outside is so strong, the rice should be of good quality. The top-grade Jirao rice must be very fragrant.
If you're enjoying the story so far and want to hear the next parts, don't forget to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And if you'd like me to continue the series, drop a comment below letting me know. Your feedback and support keep these audiobooks going strong. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.